but we've got Super Mick Arteta. Tell me, how do I have his babies?
We are exactly what we do.
Roberto Di Matteo, mate.
Lee, Arteta out.
That geezer is just absolutely relentless. I'll send you that, Shane. I don't know whether you may or may not want to use it for tomorrow. I actually thought of you to send it over. I was like, oh, Shane will like that for his full Irish. I couldn't believe it when I had a little look, and that was only posted an hour ago. So that one's fresh off the old. I know. Yeah. That's why I thought you'd like that. So I'll send it over to you, my friend.
I've got that video. I'm going to use it one day on my stream. Definitely.
I'll send it. I'll send it out to Arno. It's
just a classic.
That geezer possibly is the cringiest so-and-so possibly online. I wouldn't even half mind if he could sing. I mean, the quality of singing is probably about the quality of his Arsenal knowledge, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Did you get a decent mic or something? Get a decent mic.
Well, usually has the old clippers, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean?
He stopped that the day that we started ripping him apart. He stopped using that.
Oh, was it?
He hasn't used them in the video since. Because I cover him at most weeks, and he hasn't used them since. He's using the bars now or whatever the fuck it is.
It's Monday anyway, and I thought I'd start it off on a lighter tone. Monday, which means it's the beginning of the week, but it also means that I am joined by the legendary panel on the Mondays. And that begins with this legend to my right here, DJ B, my friend. We made it through the weekend. This is the beginning of the week. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Always a pleasure to be here on a Monday. Nortski, Shane, yourself. Weekend was good when it eventually started for me. Done a bit of Father's Day thing yesterday, which was lovely. And done a little stream as well, 11 o'clock, the late night stream that I done, which was good. And looking forward to getting into tonight, my friend. Big time.
Yeah, of course, man. And it's always an absolute pleasure to have you on here, DJ. But just as equal as it's a pleasure to have Shane Gooner in the building, man. Big up to you, my friend. How was your weekend? How was your Monday been?
Yeah, all good, man. I did obviously Father's Day yesterday. Went out for a bit of Chinese. Had a stag on Saturday. Yeah, all good, man. All good. Still got a bit of streaming done in between, and looking forward to it, man. I love these Mondays. Can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, it's always again a pleasure to have you, and again it's always a pleasure to have this gentleman underneath me here, Normski, man. I've got great respect for this gentleman. How are you doing, my friend?
All good. A bit of a mad weekend. Did a bit of I think it was the last time I did what was it? I did this first aid course, and so I was blowing into people's mouths. Well, balls down his mouths.
Yeah.
And it was that
the lucky so-and-sos.
So I was doing the first, obviously, for a charity that I work for. So obviously we was asked to take part in the first aid course, and then the evening packed day had my sister's 65th birthday party. So I was out there shaking a leg, you know what I mean, and I've come back in pain. So I missed a lot of stuff that was going on at the weekend. It was a pretty busy weekend, but at the moment, I'm a bit confused.com at the moment. And
what's confusing you, man? Come on, talk to me. Well,
I don't know whether we're coming or going. I don't know what's going on with the Gyokeres deal. I'm hearing that he's interested in coming to us. I'm also hearing that we're doing 2 deals at the same time. I'm also hearing if that doesn't work out, that we're going to go for Ollie Watkins. So I am absolutely confused. But what I would say, here we go. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm a little bit confused. I'm hoping tonight we were able to shed some light on it, and I'll be going away from this stream a little bit more enlightened, to say the least. But what I just want to just quickly say, guys,
go on.
I'm just moonlighting a bit, so I'm actually working for Sky at the moment. So see, I'm in the Sky Studios, and I have got some breaking news. Do you mind if I just say the breaking news before we commence?
Please.
You're going to get
Here we go.
You're going to get excited about this, and believe it or not, we have made a signing, a Brazilian player. So I'm just going to. It's the IDK. You get to have your ear to the ground. I'm sorry, lads, I couldn't send you the text in that to sort of give you the
No, I
lowdown.
can understand, Norms. It's
So,
your top
so
secret.
listen,
You want to break this news yourself? It's fine.
I'm going to
Norm.
break
You
it
know what I
now.
mean?
Yeah. So, guys, please hold on to your seats. It's going to be fantastic. Great
Breaking
sign.
news with Norms.
Breaking news. Quite a versatile. He's quite a versatile player. Sort of player that Mikel Arteta likes. You know, he can play in every single position. Yeah. So he signed him from Brazil. This is what I to say off the press. Applied his trade for a club called Armory FC. By the player's name is Merchandino. Good, he's a really great player. So listen, it's really exciting. Merchandino, as I said, he can play in any position: goalkeeper, left back, right back. You know what I mean? And the shirt that he wears is a lovely shirt. It's a lovely blue shirt.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You know, I want to get. But listen, he's going to be a fan's favorite. He's going to be a fan's favorite. So people get down to the Armory and get this guy's name on your back called Merchandino. Yeah, just wanted to say.
You know
Apparently,
what?
he covers a lot of areas, Norms. Is that right? He covers a lot of areas.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Let's
as I said,
roll with
he can play in any position.
Yeah.
Did we not sign him last month, though? We signed him last month as well, didn't we? And the month before that. And the month before that. And the month before that.
The funny thing about it, I was talking to my mate, and he texted me and he said, like, I was walking down the road and I saw Berta. I believe it or not, like he sort of said, like, I said, who's coming to the club? He said, I was some guy called Merchandino, and yeah, he did that. Yeah, so people, that's what it's all about, people.
You know what? That's it. We got some Norms here, a bit of a breaking news.
There it is.
Let's get it up while we're talking about it. Sod it. We can hold on.
There it is. Oh, dearie.
Here we go. They have indeed. Merchandino merchandise has indeed dropped.
Look at the colour
today.
That was our away jersey about 7 or 8 years ago.
Just gonna say that wasn't even pretty similar-ish to the one 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, you are right, Shane. I was gonna say that. 40 quid.
Yeah.
40 quid.
Yeah.
You can look like a double geezer.
Yeah. That's a Mr. Waffle settings, one of them, isn't it? Aaron?
Yeah, oh mate. Oh, Mr. Wofford looked fantastic in this. I'm quite undecided as to whether he's a bit of the white or a bit of the green. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you'll have them both, mate. I think you'll have them both. One for Saturday, one for Sunday.
yeah. A weekend on all occasions. A Saturday kickoffs and a Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
What we're doing here. We got all the zippers as well. You know, because we're going into the summer now, so you definitely want a jacket. 58 quid. 58 quid. If you know you want one in my size, it's only 40 quid. We got some sleeveless stuff. 35 quid if you want to be a top wanker in a vest. Here we go. And let's go down. Oh, look, we've got an even thicker jacket, 50 quid. Training hoodie. T-shirts are 35 quid, you know.
It's
Here
amazing.
We go,
Isn't it amazing how they get this out at the beginning of the summer, but they can't get a transfer done?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. This is like their third merch line so far. And they've
just gone into the warehouse and got all the stuff from the jersey from 5 years ago and just stuck a new badge on it and said, "Oh, here you go."
Yeah.
Look
at the price.
Left in stock.
Here we go. Puffy jacket.
Shankston, look at the prices of it, though. Look at the prices of it, my friend.
All weather. All weather, though, except for a fucking sunny weather. Why would you call it an all-weather jacket? Why would you be wearing that in 40 degrees or 30 degrees? It's not all-weather jacket. It's for cold weather, isn't it? It's a jacket. What are we doing here? 162 quid, though, if you want the Arsene Wenger look. There you go.
That's the one,
to do the zip and all of that. 162 quid. It'll set you back. If for some reason you want to buy this in the summer, there you go. What we doing here? What we doing here? Look, here we go. We've got some skimpy training pants for 40 quid. If you want to get the old bulge out. You know what I mean? What we doing here? And then obviously, that's all the different merch. But what is that?
Some gloves for summer as well. Yeah.
There we go. Gloves. 20 quid, they'll set you back, you know, if you want to keep your hands even warmer. If you like the sweaty feel when you're shaking hands, look, bit of scarf going on here. You know what I mean? What we doing here?
Look at them trainers. Here, look at these trainers. 160 quid.
Yeah. They are horrendous.
Look
at that. Absolute cack.
They'll sell out as well. They'll sell out.
You can also get them in the middle of
Love Unites, guys. Love Unites.
Look at that. Look at the ball. How much they want for that ball?
18 nugs.
18 quid, couple of smashes on that, mate. It all goes out of shape.
Letters off that.
Absolute state of this. Absolute state of it. What can you do, man? But yeah, that's the new merch for you. Yeah.
No?
Supported by Merchandinho.
Yeah, mate. Great player. 35 goals, somebody said in the chat.
35
yeah.
goals.
We're definitely going to win the league.
The new Anelka.
Yeah,
That's it.
Anelka.
I can feel an Ornstein bomber come in.
Yeah, mate.
Merchandinho, here we go. By Fabrizio and all of that. Mate, what are we doing here? That is mad shit, isn't it, man? They're
Oh,
already pumping it all out there. Like was it you that just said in the chat just then, Shane? They're already doing all of this, but yet not able to make a striker. And
Yeah,
do you know what,
maybe.
ladies and gents that were watching me on the Friday show, you'd have seen that I put this up, and it still rings true today because guess what? The days go on, and we keep signing absolutely no one. Look at this. We'll run through this. And I've done it before, but we'll do it again today because I've got different opinions on here and I want to know this. We've got the Ornstein bomber. This was yesterday or the day before, I think. Arsenal are working on the 9 position every single day. These are things that are not simple that we, the public and the media, might think or want to imagine. You're talking absolute bollocks. Let's skip to the next one. Sesko, Gyokeres and Watkins are high among them. There will be so many different factors involved. On the pitch, off the pitch, football, financial, transfer fee, structure, add-ons, bonuses, salary, age commission. Thank you for explaining a transfer fee. Thank you very much for that. What a waste of time. And then he goes on to say in the third paragraph of absolute crap, we see the reports of some dialogue with RB Leipzig, the representatives of Sesko. That's normal. The numbers, a release clause, gentleman's agreement, payment terms, similar with Gyokeres and Watkins. We're not aware of any other candidates. Okay, so we're going in solo for all 3 of them. So we're not challenged by any other clubs, by the way. Not challenged yet. And then the last little bit. This is the kicker. This is the stinker, ladies and gentlemen. We can't really put a timescale on it. Great. Of course we fucking can't. Every other team can, but Arsenal can't. I'm sure Arsenal will want to make developments this week. Maybe next week. More as soon as possible. A lot of work goes into this. And clearly we don't have the conclusion yet. All I've read from this, ladies and gentlemen, is that Arsenal Football Club, when it comes to a striker, not only are they nowhere near completing a deal, they don't even know what one they want still. And that is a worrying thing. When he was saying, oh, it's only the 16th of June, calm yourself down. I'll tell you what, when my football club last year tried signing Sesko, but they said, wait another year, why aren't you going to get Sesko then? Oh, yeah, but we didn't spend any money in January. And we thought, okay, well, maybe they're going to go big this summer. Then Berta comes in. But we don't even know what signing we want now. This is worrying that we are now halfway through June and we still ain't got a clue which striker we want. Now, we're seeing things like what Normski said. Berta's basically saying something on the lines of, okay, well, we're doing these multiple deals and then we're just going to weigh it up. Why don't you just say which striker you want and then go and sign him? Well, Liverpool with Wirtz didn't go, oh, what we'll do is we'll choose another number 2 or 3 number 10s. We'll just fart arse around. They went, no, we want Wirtz. How much do you want for him? There's the money. We get Wirtz. Copy and paste all the other deals that they've done in the summer. 3 other deals, by the way. Manchester City, copy and paste the 5 deals that they've nearly done and counting. But not Arsenal Football Club. No, not Arsenal Football Club. We've needed a striker for 2.5 years since we sold Aubameyang or ripped his contract up, and we still ain't got a bloody clue which one we want. DJB, Norm said, hopefully we'll have a bit more of an idea come the end of the stream. Unfortunately, we still ain't got an idea. DJB, that's a worrying thing, isn't it? That weeks and weeks, they don't even know what striker they want, let alone being down the line on them. It's ridiculous, my friend.
This is the Arsenal of old. This is still the Arsenal with the new regime, Berta and everyone. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think around about the 2nd of June, and I was told by a person that I won't mention, oh, don't panic. It's only the first week of the window. Don't panic, etc., etc., etc. We're now the 16th of June. We're going into the back end of the month and we're still none of the wiser. And this is a link that we've had with Sesko last year.
Yeah.
The manager wants Sesko. He 100% wants Sesko. And this is why there's so many spanners in the works. Because the fans' favourite is Gyokeres, and yet the manager's favourite is Sesko. And there lies the conflict. Because Berta is trying to do what the fans want, clearly, and the manager is spitting his dummy out on every single occasion. And the fact that Ollie Watkins now has been thrown in the frame is an indication that both Gyokeres and Sesko could go tits up.
Yeah.
And they've got Watkins in the frame because they know that the hills and everything's been dragging over Sesko and Gyokeres. And if other clubs come in, and I mean make a meaningful bid, a real, right, how much do you want for him? 80 million. There you go. We'll get it in your bank by the end of the week. Get the player interviewed, get him on a medical table, get him done. If that happens, we ain't getting Gyokeres or Sesko. So we're sniffing around Ollie Watkins as a backup plan. Because this manager wants Sesko. He's dug his heels in. He'll keep digging his heels in. And he'll keep now ignoring every single striker that comes into the frame. And the thing is, the fans all back the manager. If Mikel Arteta said, I want Pinky, and if I want, Mickey Mouse, the fans would back him.
Yeah.
And this is the problem we've got. This is the problem we have. So he's not listening. Someone's not listening. There must be a breakdown in communication, because how I look at it, right, guys, is how can you be linked with a player that you went for a season ago, and yet a year on, we are none of the wiser of getting him. So if it's Sesko he wants, why is it taking so long? And then Gyokeres apparently turns down Man United. It's a done deal. He's going to Arsenal. He's made his options clear where he wants to go. The fact is, there was no deals on the table. There was no money. There was no offers. There was no bids. Nothing. It's just all pie in the sky. Basically, guys, it's just all bollocks, and it's just dragging on and dragging on and dragging on. I'm getting to the situation. I don't care who we sign. I really now got to the stage where I don't give a damn who we sign. I really don't. I just want a number 9, because no matter who we sign, it's going to be better than what we've got. It's going to be better than Havertz. It's going to be better than Marino. I just want a player in there to stop all this nonsense, because it's embarrassing. Other fans are laughing at us. Other teams are laughing at us. We're an embarrassment. Leeds United are getting teams like Leeds and stuff like that. They're being linked to players for about a week, getting them through the door. Man United, you watch Spurs now. Spurs apparently under Frank are linked with 3 players. And I bet you any money they sign them players before we even sign one.
Mm-hmm.
And the more it drags on, and as I go back to what I said earlier, I was told, calm down. It's only the first week. Deals will be done. We ain't even officially got Zubimendi, have we?
No.
We ain't even officially got Zubimendi, who we was meant to have signed in February.
We need this guy.
Yeah, this is who we need. Merchandinho, number 14.
Wow.
And pay him 200 grand a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And pay him 200 grand a week. I mean, it's just embarrassing, isn't it, guys? We're becoming like, I keep saying it, we're just a circus of a club. We're an absolute joke. We're linked with player after player after player, and even with a sporting director in place, we still cannot do anything meaningful. It's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely.
Can I answer that before Shane jumps in very quickly? Apologies, Shane. I keep hearing, and the African Gooner said this to me. He was like, "Oh, fans are saying about the books being filed for July, yeah. So apparently, everyone's waiting until July, so then it goes on the following season's book, so you can make more signing. All well and good. Okay, cool. Well, first week of July, I want to see some signings then. And also, why are we not 99% completing these deals? I.e., if we do actually genuinely need to wait until July, why are we not getting the deals 99% all already done? And then as soon as that clock ticks over to 00, 01, boom, there you go, complete the deal. And it's like, the frustrating thing is we haven't even decided on that striker yet, let alone getting into July. The problem is it's taking way too long for Arsenal Football Club to sign these players. And what happens then, boys, is we leave ourselves so vulnerable to other big clubs with real ambition to swoop in and take these players. Or the later we leave it, the more desperate we look, which less power we have in negotiations. And ultimately, clubs raise the transfer fee and the agents raise the wages. It's not rocket science. It's frustrating, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I mean, before Shane comes in, I mean, what I can't understand, that July thing's a load of old nonsense. It's not as in the way the clubs want to deal, but you can get signings sealed. You can get all the work done, and then you can hold off payment until July. And then once July is out of the way, then you can send the payment and everything else. So all of that, that's a load of old crap because, as you said, Aaron, everything can be done, negotiated, signed before July. Everything can be put in place. And as I said, the fact that Ollie Watkins is there now, that to me tells you that Gyokeres and Sesko, things are not going too well.
Yeah. It's I don't know what your feels on it, Shane. Sorry for interrupting you. I just had to squeeze that thought in there, bruv.
Yeah, but if it's this thing about July, then why does it only ever affect us? Why do these funny things that the top owners find only affect our club? Exactly. It's unbelievable. They're just constant excuses. And DJB touched on it. I've been saying this for time that he has fixated on Sesko and Zubimendi for 2 years now. 2 years. So nobody else will do. You know, City went in for Wirtz. They said, look, we're looking at getting you. And he kind of went, well, and they went, right, fuck you. If you're going to home and we'll move on. We'll get Cherky. We'll get Reinders. He has insisted on Sesko for 2 years now, to the point where last summer when Sesko said, you know what, I'm going to stay here another year, the board would have clearly gone, right, who else do you want? No, I'll wait. So you're going to risk my club with the best chance we've ever had to win a league in the Emirates era, where City are about to fall off. We could see it coming.
Yeah.
And you go, no, I'll wait. It's not like he's waiting on R9 or he's waiting on Prime Ronaldo or something. He's waiting on Sesko. Sesko, man. You know what I mean? This average striker who was 9th top goal scorer in Germany. 9th top goal scorer. Marmoush scored more than him and he left in January.
Yeah.
This is who we're waiting on. And it makes no sense whatsoever. If people can't see that it's narcissism now at this stage, then they're blind. They are blind to it. If they can't see, and I've said this before as well, last 4 years, whenever he gets asked about a 9 in press conferences, he gets hot under the collar. He starts going mad at the reporters. Oh, we top most goals in a calendar year, blah, 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 blah. Suddenly in January, like that, every press conference, I've told him I need a striker. I've told him I need a forward. I told him. He knew he wasn't getting one because they must have been so mad at him going, well, we told you before the season started that you can get someone else. You wanted to wait for Sesko. Then in January, you want us to sign your striker, then sign Sesko again at the end of the year. You know, so with this thing with Gyokeres, I've heard reports that he wants to come to us. I don't think he wants to come to us. I've said that, but normally when I say something, I'll stick by it until someone proves me wrong. And again, if people come in, where do you get your facts? These aren't facts. This is my opinion. That's what we're here for, to give our opinion. I don't think he wants to come to us. I don't think any self-respecting forward who's a numbers man like him wants to play under this charlatan. Nobody does. He has insisted on Sesko and Zubimendi, and every other club will sit down all the way through the season, getting ready for the summer. Pep will sit down with his coaches. He'll sit down with his director of football. He'll sit down with all his team, and they go, these are the players I want. If we can't get them in that position, I want this guy, number 2. I want this guy, number 3. So you try and get him. If you can't get him, and then get him. He's gone, I want these 2. Yeah, and what else? I want these 2. Yeah, but what if that doesn't work? No, I just want these 2. He's like a child. He's like a child that you bring to the shop. Or you say, oh, going to bring you to McDonald's today, right? And then, oh, yeah, McDonald's. And you go out and the car won't start. And you go, oh, no, we're not going to be able to. And then you offer them something that they'd normally love, like, oh, well, we'll get you Chinese. I don't want Chinese. I don't want anything. You know what I mean? That's what he's like. He's like a child who didn't get his way. I want these 2. And he's going to drive this club into the ground with his arrogance. That's the thing. He's going to drive it. He already has, to be fair. He already has. Yes. And we will panic. We will get to the end of the transfer window. We will panic. And because he's so laser focused on these 2 guys, the clubs can go, well, it's so obvious that these are the only 2 players you want. So throw an extra 10 million on that. You know what I mean? Where City just move on, he's going, no, I want them. Like he did with Havertz. Chelsea just went 65 million and yeah, fine, we'll have to pay it because it's the only player he wants. And he's doing it again. He's doing it again and again and again. And these people are, you know, there was a poll. I sent you it earlier on Sky Sports. Thousands of people voted. Arsenal fans, who do you want, Sesko or Gyokeres? They voted for Sesko because they're all listening to him. They're voted for a 13-goal a season striker over a 40, whatever he got, because Arteta told them that Sesko's better. That is how brainwashed this fan base is. And I put it up today that we've had 17 outgoings already, 0 incomings. More outgoings than anybody else, less incomings than anybody else.
Yeah.
Already, previously the smallest squad in the league. And this is what we're doing. And you look at Chelsea, they sell on Humphreys and they sell on all these lads that never even play for them for 10 million, 14 million, 15 million.
Yeah.
But because, again, it's our bargaining angle is gone because these youngsters know they will never get a chance under them. They will never, ever, ever get a chance under them.
Well, look
So
at
we can't
Heaven
sell them.
and what's his name? Chido Obi Martin's going to Manchester United.
Knew they'd never
Chelsea
get
would have
again.
sold
People
them for
saying,
about
they're
80 million.
They're greedy. They're greedy. That's what they got muddled with. They're greedy. No, they know that they will never, ever play under this guy. Never.
Yeah.
You know, Wanyeri wouldn't have played this season if there hadn't been so many injuries. He wouldn't have played. Either with Skelly. They wouldn't have played. He was just so slow he played.
Yeah.
That's the way he is.
This is a fact from Unique, man. Panel, our football club is like a guy wanting to pluck the courage to talk to a woman he fancies. Finally does it. Has a couple of beers, bit of Dutch courage, walks up to her and she's like, nah, I've got a boyfriend now, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. 100%. That is a good analogy.
Isn't it? Yeah, big up, man. Big up Unique. And big up to everyone else as well. The guys, all their links, they are pinned. So please go and follow every single one of these fantastic panelists. And also smash the like on the stream if you haven't done already, man. Normski, what's your say on it, brother?
Yeah, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm confused.com. And everybody wants to go and get car insurance.
Yeah.
Make it my pleasure. But listen, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if this club is coming or going. I don't know if I'm coming or going with the nonsense that I'm hearing coming out of this club. And it's just typical of Arsenal. Whereas every other club go and do their business. They find their targets, as you rightly said. They line them up and say, right, yeah, those are the people that we want. We don't get them, we move on to plan B. Yeah. Arsenal, no, we just wing it. The same way Arteta wings the job, wings the season. This is how we're doing in the transfer window. We're just winging it. And, you know, everybody gets excited when the news came up from Fabrizio saying that, Gyokeres only wants Arsenal and Man United are out the race and all of that. Then he comes back a couple of days later and no, it wasn't like that. It's not that he really wants to put Man United to the side. It's just that he prefers Arsenal, but there could be a chance that Man United could still be in the race. So this could have been, should have been, whatever. It's all speculation, yeah. And the thing is, we're going for a striker, right? That costs right now. There's talk 70 million euros. This is what Sporting Lisbon want. That's around about 60 what? Sorry, not 70 million, 80 million euros, which is around about 70 million. Quid.
It's about 70, I think. There, it's give or take. Yes, right? There or thereabouts.
That's only 5 million more than Kai Havertz, who's only scored 9 goals last season. Okay, let's just think about that, okay, people. There's only 5 more. Yeah, you're looking at a striker that is 27 at his peak, right, banging in the goals, but yet we're looking at a guy that finished 7th in his domestic league, a much weaker league than our league. And he scores 30 goals. Even Penda, who's much better in his first choice. Yeah. So why are we going for a second-rate striker? I mean, and
at first-rate fee as well, Norms. Though at first-rate fee, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, because I mean, if you look at what Leipzig want, they know that we need a striker, and so they've upped their price. I mean, I'm hearing now Bayern Munich is sniffing around him. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going to happen there. But other clubs are coming. What I'm essentially saying, if we're not careful, guys, we could end up buying Ollie Watkins, who was an afterthought in January.
That's why he's there.
And what do you reckon Aston Villa will do? What price do you reckon they're going to do? They're going to go, no, Arsenal are double desperate.
Exactly. So they're talking between 50 to 60 million. I'm thinking the guy's 29 years old. Yeah. Yes, he's probably good to have as a second option, right? But go and get Gyokeres. Stop messing about. Stop messing about. Yeah, you've got 2 deals, 3 deals, or whatever it is on the go. And the problem is that, as Ornstein says, well, we don't know. It could be a week, it could be 2 months. We just have to just wait and let's let this all pan out. We ain't got time for this, because what will end up happening is that these 2 targets, right? We will go all summer, just like we took 10 weeks to sign Moreno and Calafiori. We're going to get to the end of the window, yeah. And we probably lose both of them, and then it's a panic buy. The way we're doing us, and the thing is, people. I had a guy phone me up today. He's like, "Oh, you negative gooners, You said that Berto was going to do the business. You know, I was promoting the cheese wire and all of that. Listen, unfortunately, Berto has had to put the cheese wire back in the drawer, and he was called into the office, yeah, and there was the bigger boss. Right? And he said, "Yo, you thought you'd come here to mess things up, yeah? Sit down, keep quiet, do your job. You're paid to do your job, yeah." Burton needs to sort it out quick. He needs to get a hold of the reins and sort it out quick. But the problem is Mikel Arteta. Whilst Mikel Arteta is there, he's controlling things. He wants Sesko. He wants Zubimendi. 2 years running now. Yeah, he's been after these guys. So if you've been after these guys, why can't you do the deal then? Why is it, you're known
so long?
No one is more closer to knowing whether we've done anything. Have we actually put in a bid? Have we put in a bid for Zubimendi? Have we put in a bid for anything? Yeah, it's all say so. It's all talk at the moment.
We're waiting until July.
Exactly. There's talking about Juventus coming in. Yeah, I was reading on Transfer News that Juventus might come in. They might sell 8 players to fund the Gyokeres deal. Yeah, 8 players. You know, that's how much they think of this guy. Yeah, and there we are saying, well, let's see. We'll have 2 deals going at the same time. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of juggling. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're not a good juggler, they're all going to fall down and fall out your hands.
Norms.
Yeah, a complete mess.
This is just typical Arsenal and how batshit this whole scenario is before I let DJB come in, yeah? Not Gyokeres, I think it's fair to say, in terms of available strikers, is the best on the market, yeah? He's the best, definitely most proven available striker. I'll say available striker on the market. He's available at a fee that Arsenal can absolutely afford. Andy, if you believe reports and what he said, he comes out and says he actually wants to join Arsenal. Why on earth are we not doing it? Like, why on earth? Like,
the thing is, Aaron, right? When you're a club desperate for success, you go for the best available player. We've not had a striker for some time. So the best available striker, if you was to look at just what it shows you on the paper, is Gyokeres. He scores the most goals, got the most assists. He's got a little bit of experience playing in English football, and he's the best available. So the fact that we're not doing it is absolutely crazy, because there's reports now. I mean, I've just read that apparently Arsenal have froze their interest in Gyokeres. So I think what we're going to be doing now is just putting all our eggs in one basket and going all out to get Sesko. And now the price is going to go up and up. Don't be surprised. We'll probably end up paying in the region of about 80 million for Sesko. I reckon we'll be in the sort of region of about 80 million for Sesko. And on top of that, we're going to be what we've done with Havertz, what we've done with Jesus, what we've done with Odegaard. We're going to be paying astronomical wages for a project. Yep. So this Sesko is probably going to end up coming to Arsenal for £80 million, and he's probably going to be on 250 grand plus a week on a project, on an unproven striker. Now, people will come back to me and say, yeah, but you don't know if Gyokeres is going to be proven. Well, I don't know that. But if you're spending £80 million, you go and buy the striker with the CV.
That's right.
You don't go and pay £80 million on a striker that is impossible.
How do bookmakers make all their money?
Exactly.
Based on historical and likelihood.
Exactly. When you look, exactly. You back something based on what their form is and what they do and how many firsts they've had and everything. But Gyokeres is a price that is okay, because that will allow us to sign other players. Right. But if we end up spending 75-80 million pound on Sesko, it ain't going to leave us a lot to sign anyone else. Nope. Now I'm hearing rumours that we've put a bid in for Nico Williams. That keeps coming backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. We don't need Nico Williams. He ain't good enough. You might as well stick with Martinelli. And try and develop him. Nico Williams is not an upgrade as far as I'm concerned. So this is what I'm saying. The only reason and I'm with Shane on this as well, the only reason that we are not going for Gyokeres is because this manager, the spoilt brat he is, does not want him. And it will all come out. And we still haven't heard why Edu left, but I bet you life Edu was in the same situation as Berta's in this summer. I bet he was in the same situation. When Edu said we need this player or he's more their price range, and he was going, no, I want Havertz, I want this one, I want... Honestly, and I bet you there's a problem there. I bet there's a clash. There's definitely a clash. Otherwise, why wouldn't you go for Gyokeres? And I've said this all along, guys. If we are a big club and we want to act like a big club, go and get both of them. Go and get Sesko and Gyokeres. Go and get them both. Act like a big club. You ain't won nothing in years. Make a statement and go and sign them both. You ain't won the Premiership. You haven't won the Champions League. Go get them both. Put your money where your mouth is.
That would.
But we ain't going to do it. We ain't going to do it, mate. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be lastminute.com, and we'll have a... I always said it. I've said this all along. We are going to make 2 signings, and we'll make a last-minute panic loan signing. That's all we're going to come. That's all we're going to have in this summer.
Yep.
Are Arsenal being left behind?
Oh, massively. If you look at the deals that Man City have done, and if you look what Liverpool have done, and Liverpool ain't done yet, apparently.
Newcastle are supposed to do a few signings as well. Newcastle are meant supposed to align players like that.
Yeah.
If they sell Nunes and Diaz, they've got the Gyokeres money right there, ready and waiting.
Unbelievable.
I still don't know why they don't offer Nunes as part of the deal.
Yeah.
He's still got a reputation in Portugal.
Yeah.
Offer him, say, we paid 80, we'll give him to you for 40, we'll give you 20 for Gyokeres, done, and just switch the wage.
You wouldn't be surprised, would you?
It's the manager, Shane, isn't it? It's the manager that's holding the process. Just... I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
I just know he's probably, really, really digging his heels in, and he's probably making life so awkward.
Yeah.
You can imagine him. I'm the manager. I'm the one that's got to work with him. This is the player I want.
And you'd swear that he has a bad track record, that they're going like it's Alex Ferguson saying, no, this is the one I want. And you go, okay, Alex, you know best. You know what I mean? This is Arteta we're talking about, who has never developed a forward player.
No,
because
exactly.
I had to say with Christian on Dan's when I said he's ruined every attacking player. Name one. I said all of them. And he said, name another one. How can I name more than all of them? You know what I mean? This is what you're dealing with. But the thing with Gyokeres is, and I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm with you that obviously he's digging his heels in, but I think it's twofold. Like, there's no way that guy wants to come to us. There's no way. And if he does, it's because no one else wants him. And I can't imagine no one else wants him. But maybe just the teams that he wanted. If Liverpool came in for him, he'd go to them ahead of us. If Chelsea came into him, he'd go for them ahead of us. If Bayern, Juventus, any of those teams came in for him, he'd go to them ahead of us. The only way that we'll get him is if we do what we do with every other player and quadruple his wage or 7.5 times his wage like we did with Zinchenko.
That's what we're going to end up doing.
Yeah, and if it comes then and doesn't work out, then we're stuck with a 30-year-old who's on a massive wage that we can't get rid of.
100%.
Always the same thing. Look at Zinchenko. Apparently, Milan are going to only have to pay 10 million because his wage is so high. You know what I mean? How would we get rid of Havertz? How would we get rid of Jesus? We can't get rid of them. These players only come to us because of the massive wage. It's the same with Zubimendi. He doesn't want to come to us. We're just a last resort for him. He's, oh God, I may as well go. They're going to give me an extra 200 grand of what I'm on. I suppose I'll go for the money. If Madrid come in, he'll go to them. He'll go to them. He wants to stay in Spain. He wants to. So why do you go after, insist on a player that doesn't want to play for you? You know, it can't work. It can't work. You can't get a player to come to you. If he doesn't want to come, move on.
I'm getting to the stage. Sorry, Shane. I'm getting to the stage. I don't know about you, Shane, and Normski and Aaron. I'm getting to the stage where I hope we absolutely totally F up this transfer window. We don't end up with no one. And let's see if he can coach his way out of it next season.
Well, he won't be able to, because Aaron said, do you think we've fallen behind? That we are falling behind. I think we fell behind last season.
Yeah,
we fell behind last season. Not just Liverpool, but the other teams as well. Because Newcastle got stronger as the season went on. City got stronger as the season went on. Chelsea got stronger as the season went on. All these teams, and they're signing as well. I keep saying this: we will be out if he's in charge at the end of next season. We'll be outside the top 5. People said I got told on Dan's last night that that's ludicrous to say that. It's not ludicrous to say that at all. It's not ludicrous to say that.
No,
I can see that coming. with the
And we've
injuries.
said all along,
The injuries are going to be worse next season. They're
Yeah.
going to be worse next season. Saka's going to be dropping every few weeks. Ben
Yeah.
White, the odds of all the 8 players that have been ruined this season, the odds of all of them remaining fit, it's impossible. Like you
Are they
said,
even going to be fit for the start of the summer? Because obviously we've got
Timber's
Timber,
got an operation.
yeah,
Ben White, don't be
Gabriel
surprised if he
Magalhaes.
needs one.
No.
Gabriel, well, he could be in and
Odegaard's
out.
carrying injury.
Odegaard
Jesus
needs an
saying-
operation.
Declan Rice. I mean,
Look,
he's carrying a back injury.
Yeah.
That probably would need some kind of surgery. But this is what I'm trying to say. We are a club that just fails to prepare to fail, however you want to put it. We just, you look at the drop off of last season, and you think going into this season now, you've seen where you need to strengthen, because last season in the summer you didn't go and get the required targets that you needed to go, because you thought, well, we'll go and bring in 2 defensive midfielders or defensive type head start players, being Calafiori, who's always injured. We sound like scratch wrestle, but I'm going to keep saying it. And then we end up with a defensive midfielder playing up front because we didn't do our due diligence in going and buying a striker. And so what it is now, we've now come away from the season where some people feels it was a successful season. How? Why? I don't understand. Yeah, we have absolutely regressed. Yeah, and we should be, as the window opens, I know from us as negative fans, we were saying as soon as the 1st of June opens, as far as we're concerned, you should have had these signings sorted out, and you're announcing them. Bert is saying, yeah, we're holding up the shirt. Thank you very much. Well done. Whether it's Sesko, whether it's Gyokeres, whether it's Zubamendi, get somebody in. But at the moment, as it stands, we're a complete joke. When I was watching Shane's thing this morning, the breakfast show, and when he brought up the table and showed us that we bought nobody, which I know that, but the amount of players that we let go, it's not good. It's not good planning whatsoever from this club, and we don't. That's why I'm confused, because I don't know. Will we buy anybody? Seriously, I really don't know, because it's not just a striker that we need. There are other targets. We need to. I think, personally speaking, I think we need a left back.
Yeah, we do.
Nolski, you made a good point there, because can I just come in a minute? I mean,
and then I'll jump in on the left.
I'm not being funny, but the longer this is going on, trying to sort out the striker, by the time the striker comes in, it ain't going to leave us much time in the transfer window to strengthen in other areas that we need.
Yeah.
So the striker's going to be dragging out. Then it's going to go to July. Then it's going to go to August. Before you know it, the transfer window is going to shut. We still ain't had a left winger. We still haven't signed a left back. We still ain't even sorted out the Thomas Partey. What's happening with him? We don't even know what's happening with him.
Well,
it's a complete
apparently he is going on the plane. 1 second, sorry, Johnny. I'll get that in 2 seconds while I stop having a nightmare. We've seen that he will join up to Arsenal's training camp in Spain. I don't really know why, because I think he is out of contract maybe at the end of this month. But maybe that's a good little sign rather.
Possibly.
Sort of going to stay.
Or he's going to Spain to join up with Atletico Madrid later on.
Even if that's true.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the release list. So
that's because it's the 30th. His contract runs out.
Yeah, so the list that came out, but obviously with Jorginho, because remember his contract runs at the same time as Partey, but he was let go. They kept him back, so we don't know. We don't know.
The point that it's gotten to here, though, Norm, that it's gotten to this point. It's just insanity. Because Arteta didn't want to keep him. Arteta clearly didn't want to keep him.
No, exactly.
I've said this. If I was Thomas Partey and Berta came to me and said, look, I know he didn't want to keep you, but I do. I go, no, I'm not. Why would you want to play for a manager who doesn't want you? And he must know that if Ben White and Timber go into next season injury prone, he's going to be at right back several games next season. Do not be surprised if he starts at right back. Do not be surprised if he starts next season at right back if he's still here.
The big problem we have is that if Partey decides that he's not going to sign a deal, and as DJ rightly says, we're going to be because we're so focused on who we're going to toss up the coin to see if we're going to get in as a striker, with all the other targets and areas that are neglected, it's going to be a rush thing. It's literally going to be a rush thing, because it means if you lose Thomas Partey, that's Jorginho and Thomas Partey. So it means you have to now replace 2 and get another midfield on top. Again,
the Congo's the Jorginho replacement, Norms. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Promise you. That's
well, then that's Berta telling Arteta make it work.
Yeah.
I like that though. I do like that angle.
Yeah.
I like that angle of
That's why
saying
I
you
brought it
fucking
up,
sign
yeah.
these players, you use them. You sign these players, you use them. I don't want to hear any excuses about hamstrings. If you're 2-0 up, I'll be in the crowd. I'll be watching. If you're 2-0 up at home to Burnley, you better take Saka off and bring Fabio
100%.
Vieira on out the wing, and you better take.
There's no squad
take
though, is there,
Gordon
Shane?
midfield as well.
Have we?
Sorry?
Yeah, there's no squad though. I mean, 5 years in with this football manager, and we should only be making 1 or 2 signings this season, just
Yeah.
to tweak. Just
But
to
he
tweak
freezes everyone
what
out,
up.
DJB. He
Fresh
freezes
face.
everyone
Squad.
out. If they're not in his first 11, they're gone. They're out. He doesn't
Yeah.
even think about it.
Facts.
That's what he does. We went through this, Norris. Remember we were saying about Ferguson and Guardiola and all that.
that's
Look,
right,
and Jezza brings it up about the year we got to the Champions League final. We had 35 players. I guarantee you that Arsene Wenger made every one of them feel like they were part of the squad.
100%.
He made every single one of them feel like that they could make a difference at any given time. Be ready. I will need you. Where this guy goes, okay, I can see him going into training. They know, because we know what first 11 he's going to pick when people are fit. I can see him going into training, just working with those 11. And the other lads are off just doing shooting practice or something. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way he works. He seems that way, that if you're in with him, you're either with him or you're against him. You know what I mean? Like, Tierney never getting back in the squad is just, it's criminal. We've gone through that a million times, but it's absolutely criminal that he wasn't getting back in the side. You know, but that is just a manager who's gone, I don't like you, you're not playing for me, and that's it. You know, you need to be able to swallow your pride. That's one of the hard things about being a manager, is swallowing your pride and saying, look, you've earned your way back in.
Yeah.
And I'll finish on this because I know Aaron wants to come back in. I've said it before about Wanyeri, if he did miss training or he's late, whatever happened there. But how is that kid meant to feel? He could come into training 2 hours early and leave 2 hours late every single day. And no matter how bad Odegaard plays, he knows he's not replacing him. Where's the incentive for him to work hard? There's no incentive for him to work hard.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's very hard to argue any of them points. Just quickly before I move on to the left back thing, just want to get through a couple of these supers. Big up to everyone. Let me remove that 1 second. Got Gianni, the absolute geezer, the ultra.
Legend.
Yeah, he is a legend, man. Big up to him as well for jumping on the Fridays, man. I mean, you are more than welcome, Gianni, anytime. You know that. Spitting absolute fact off the fact, the geezer. And he's saying here, why are we stuck on Hollywood signings? Gyokeres is the only one I'd look at. Facts. That's the only one we should be looking at. And like I said, my friend, earlier in there, we've got the best available at the moment striker in the market whose fee's reasonable. He's at that right point in his career where he's 27 hitting his peak. We need a striker that's 27-ish hitting their peak. He wants to come to Arsenal Football Club, and we're not even doing it. We're not even getting it done. That signing, if Arsenal were a serious football club, and I said this months back, the second that clock ticked past 12 o'clock, I would have just released a clause.
100%.
Pay the extra 10 million quid. Could you imagine
100%.
that scenario? If he wants to come, then contract negotiations should be a little bit easier then.
Yeah.
Pay the release clause or pay 5 million over it so you can get it in some, whatever. Either way, just pay the release clause. I don't want to negate away from my own point. And then he'd have probably already had his medical and been through the door. Or if it is this July thing or whatever, all we'd have had to do was wait for 1 second, past July and gone, send. There you go, he's our player. That was what Arsenal would do if Arsenal moved like a big football club. That's what Manchester City are doing. That's what Liverpool are doing. I've had people combat me with this and gone, yeah, but Spurs ain't making no signings. Aston Villa ain't making no signings. But in the same breath, they're saying that we're not competing with them. We should be competing with Liverpool and Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City for the league. So what one is it? So Arsenal, I agree with you. Arsenal shouldn't be competing with the Newcastles and the Spurses and the Chelseas and the Manchester United next year and the Villas. We shouldn't. We should be competing with Manchester Cities. We should be competing with the Liverpools. The only difference is not only are we not competing with them on the pitch in terms of lifting trophies, we're not competing anywhere near with them in the fucking transfer window. Liverpool are the champions of England, and what are they doing? They are spending some serious dough. And they're not just spending money on fools. They're not spending money on idiots. They're spending money on the signings that they need to make. They've had to lose Trent. And I think, considering who's out there and available in their system, they couldn't have replaced him any better, really. Couldn't have replaced him any better with Frimpong. Then they've got Gyokeres in the door. They noticed that Robertson's getting that little bit on and past it. Tsimikas is obviously never going to be their number one. They go and get Gyokeres. They're going to get the best Ozil to Real Madrid number 10 at the minute. Everyone wants him. He'd walk into any team. That's a fact. He would walk into any team, Florian Wirtz. He's that good. They've went out and got him. They're not done either, by the way. They're not done. Manchester City, they've got Livramento coming through the door because they know their right back has got an issue. They also spent 200 million in the January transfer window. They also have got a left back, Nori. They've also got two Reinders in. They've also got Cherky in. And guess what? Here we go. Here's another little funny thing for you. They've also got this geezer through the door. Nipad. It's weird.
Oh,
Arsenal,
yeah, but he signed for us in
him.
January.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right, Shane. Exactly right.
Just like Supermendy did.
Yeah.
We signed both of them in January, or right after we lost United. Sky Sports said. So Arsenal had to have leaked that. They had to have leaked that.
Yeah. They thought they got him. They thought they got him. It was actually shocked. Yeah. Arsenal were a little bit shocked. Man City ended up getting him. Why? Because they came in and just paid the money.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And it's not as if they spent 30, 40, 50 million on the geezer. I think he cost 15, 20 million, something like that. Yeah, they wanted him and they got him. And look what Arsenal, we don't know this about any young player, but this player right here, especially for 10, 15 million quid, that stinks of a missed opportunity. Because if he bangs for that, that's what signings we should be making. You know, the 15 million odd quid signings where, you know, it's low investment, low risk, high reward. That's it. This signing, it might not do, but this could come back to bite us in the arse in 2 years down the line. It might even come to bite us in the arse this year.
But Aaron, if it doesn't work out, Man City are good at selling players. That's the thing.
They'll get that back easily, Norms. They'll get that
150.
back
exactly. But we don't do that. We just give away our players for free.
Let them loan them out till their contract runs out.
And just give them away for free.
And you have to look at him as a young player as well. You know, you get two clubs coming into you. One of them is managed by Pep Guardiola. The other one's managed by Arteta. I'm an attacking player. Where do I want to go? You know what I mean? Where do I want to learn my trade? Do I want to go to this guy and learn how to track back? Or do I want to go off one of the masters of football?
In January, we were so heavily linked with him to the point where we thought we was getting this guy, right?
Oh, we said it was done.
Man City rock up because it was a case of, well, now I'll stay at the club, develop a little bit more. Man City rock up and they go, thank you very much. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm yours.
It's facts. And yet again, Arsenal have found one. And this is the perfect example of what we're talking about with this Gyokeres, Sesko, whatever thing. Here you go. A club's come in for a player that we thought we're going to get him. We take too long dilly-dally in the transfer market. And a big club comes in and goes, we'll have him. Ta-la, he's gone. Bye. Another missed opportunity.
And like Norm said there, Aaron, that, you know, that he wanted to stay there and develop for a year. Sign him in January and say, we'll loan him back to you until the end of the season. Done. The deal's done. Oh no. It's got to be that Lego heads arrogance that if I click my fingers, these players. He said it in the press conference recently. All the top players want to play for me. No, they fucking don't. No, they don't. There's no top player that wants to play for him. None. Like DJB said it before. These players go to training with international and stuff like that. I mean, we saw how miserable Saliba was on the pitch at the end of the season. His calf, hamstring gone.
Body language now. You've only got body language on the
Dean Housen's just signed for Madrid the day before, and he's going, I am stuck here for another fucking year, man.
They're absolutely bored of him. You know when you're in a job and you've got the manager that's been there and you go into work and you think, he's telling me to do the same thing. I've got to do the same thing over and over again. And you do it, but you just go through the motions. But really, you're bored of it. And then the manager leaves, and someone else comes in, and you're sort of bouncing around. You've got you're doing different things, And this is what the players are. They're just going through the motions. They're just literally going through the motions. I'll be very surprised where we are. I'd be very surprised if we're fifth Christmas off the top by sort of 12 points. And then in January, when we play the FA Cup, which is normally in January, if we crash out of that, honestly, I can see him going, but I might be wrong. I'm just hopeful. It's madness. Absolute madness.
That's all it ever is, though, D. Hopeful. Hope.
Yeah.
Big up to Joseph Connor Golden. Big up to you. Big up to Aaron Normsey, DJB.
Big up to Joseph, mate.
Big up Joseph, man. Big supporter of everyone. Big up to you, my brother, and hope you're well. Gianni's come back in as well. Big up to Gianni. I don't know if I see right, but Gianni, off topic quick, I'm sure I see Sancho might be going to Napoli. I had a little look at that. Don't know how true that is or not, my friend. He's saying the other elephant in the room is, do we have the money? And this is what I want to talk about as well. We are trying to pay a release clause in installments. Something isn't adding up. Arteta out. Yeah, I think you might mean maybe in reference to the Zuba Mendy deal where he's got a £51 million release clause and we're paying 55. I think to spread it over payments and all of that. If that also is the case, then that just adds more fuel to the why on earth isn't the deal signed yet? Like,
it's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Apparently, the Zubimendi, we've paid over the top so the club has agreed to pay it in
installments. Yeah, because in Spain you need to pay out the whole thing to the league. Yeah, and then
but if we've got all this war chest and we've got all this money to spend, where we can go and spend 80 million or 75 million on Sesko, why are we faffing around on installments with Zubimendi? Apparently, at the start of the season, top channels were saying we've got this war chest, £300 million to spend, and yet we're faffing around Klarna settings with Zubimendi.
We ain't got that. Yeah, I think we're in trouble. If I'm being honest with you, and I don't know why, because in the last 2 years, Arsenal have heavily renewed the Adidas deal, the Fly Emirates deal, the Visitor Wonder deal, the training ground they've sold to Sober Realty. They're selling merch left, right, and centre. Because it's the new year, all of the No Europe and also the Europa League, all of that season, that's all off of PSR and FFP. So we've now only got Champions League revenue on there. Plus, last summer we made £10 million profit. We didn't spend any money in the fucking January window. We have never been more flush. No. We've never been more flush. It's madness. And I'm sitting there and thinking, maybe that's why we ain't got a striker in the door yet. But the thing is, it's not self-serving, because the longer we wait, like I said earlier, that price is going to go up there. And I'm telling you, if Arsenal keep pissing around, Gyokeres or a Sesko, what's going to happen is, as I said again earlier, Liverpool are going to get a deal for Nunes, and then they're going to sell Diaz, and then they go, we've got 70, 80 million, yeah? How much is your release clause? Bang. There we go.
Well, there's a strong link now that Liverpool are after Isak.
Yeah, I mean, that would be... When you're sort of thinking about 10 out of 10 windows, if Liverpool was to do their business and add Isak on top of it, it might not be 10 out of 10, but I tell you what, it'd be in the fucking nines, wouldn't it, if they got Isak in, as well as Florian Wirtz and their other players.
Massive.
I'll tell you what, that'd be party settings. I don't know how true that is. I think they'd have to sell a lot of players, but I mean, if you was Isak, you'd go there, wouldn't you? If they could make that money available, they would go for there. Why would he want to come to Arsenal Football Club, especially under Mikel Arteta? Why would he?
Yeah,
we're going to end up with Garnacho and Ollie Watkins.
I mean, these players look at how Arsenal are running their business and just think, you know what? One, I wouldn't play under Mikel Arteta, and two, the way they run their business. You know what I mean? Because Declan Rice, I'm hearing that he's liking Gyokeres' post and all of that, and these players are not stupid. Yeah, they're not stupid. No. They want decent players in because, as far as Rice was concerned, 105 million or whatever it was we spent on him, and he came here thinking, I'm going to win trophies. What's he done? I'm not putting it on him, but as a whole, he's looking and thinking, hang on a minute, I thought I was going to win trophy with these things, but he's looking at how they're running the business and stuff like that, and surely in the back of his mind, he's must be saying, come on.
Yeah. Do
you know what as well?
Sorry, that'd be the next thing, That'd be the next thing. If these players don't win anything next season, not only will we need to get signings in, we're going to be losing some top players next season.
Yeah. Well, DJB, why do you think over the years Manchester City were able to have Fodens, Mahrez, Sanes, and Sterlings, and half of them sat on the bench? Like, they had some fantastic players sat on the bench. Why? Because they was at Manchester City winning stuff. That's why. Exactly. Arsenal Football Club, if we was to say have a good bench like that, Shane, you're on mute, I think, my friend. If we was to have a strong bench like that and we're not winning anything, no one wants to stay. Especially the top player that's on the bench not playing. Why on earth would he want to sit on the bench and warm the bench for Arsenal Football Club, not winning anything?
You see, the thing with Guardiola is he'll make 2 changes a game regardless of who they're playing. You know what I mean? So you'd see Doku in for a 5-game run, and then he'd be out, and Foden will come in. And where Arteta gets his 11, and that's it. It's just this 11. So the players know when they're on the bench, unless someone gets injured, I ain't getting in the team. You know what I mean? Where you have to make a couple of changes, and then go on about. And Arteta's always saying, repeating, we play every 3 days. We play every 3 days. Every press conference, we play every 3 days. So does every team in Europe, mate. So does every fucking team in Europe. Which is about half the division, by the way. It's about half of the top division will play. And I think there's 9 teams in England and Europe this season. You know what I mean? So every team plays every 3 days. And you don't either, mate, because you go out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? So
he's obviously admitting that he's short in terms of his team. He's saying that we play. Why? And nobody else talks about it. It's only him.
No.
He thinks he's the only team that plays every 3 days.
Yeah,
So
that's what enrages me
he's
about it.
essentially doing is saying, well, listen, I've got a small team, but that's by your design. That's what you want. It's by design that you decided that you was going to go into the season with a small squad, and you went into that season with a small squad that didn't really have quality. Your first 11, yes. And the fact is if he could play those first 11 for the whole season, he would. But we knew injuries were going to come, and we said it all season before, that if Saka does not get any rest, he will have a serious injury. And no matter what happens, he came up after he came back from his injury. They interviewed him. Saka said, "I've been playing 5 years straight, no rest."
He
He
broke the record.
5 years straight, no rest.
Paul Merson's, isn't it?
And Arteta was smug about it in a press conference. They said, he's broken the record 70 or whatever games is in a row, and he had a big smug smile on his face.
Something, wasn't it?
Or 80 something. And I was looking at Arteta
maybe?
going, you should be mortified, not smug. You shouldn't be smirking. You should be mortified that you did that to the kid. And the thing with if he has his first 11, the previous 2 seasons, he basically had his first 11 the whole season anyway. You know what I mean? And he still didn't get over the line. And so the thing is,
and the thing is, he was lucky with injuries. That's
the thing, because Views says that. He says, we weren't unlucky this season with injuries. We just got really lucky the previous 2 seasons that we didn't have injuries. And that is just spot on. That explains it. Oh, yeah, we're unlucky with it. And I've said it before on my channel, I say it all the time. The main things that he uses as excuses, and the main things that these top gooners defend him with, they're actually the biggest stick to beat him with. Oh, injuries. Right, but he caused them. You know what I mean? Red cards. He caused them. This dark arts thing. Waste time every minute. Take 2 minutes over a throw. Take 2 minutes over a corner. He caused the red cards as well, and they defend him with it. All the things that they defend him with, you go, well, that's the main reason he should be fired, mate. I don't know why you're using it to defend him. These are the reasons I want him fired, and you're defending him with it. It's insanity. You know what I mean? Oh, he doesn't have the squad. He doesn't have the players. He designed it that way. He let 4 attacking players go and replaced them with Raheem Sterling. This is what we're. I know, but he had to do that for PSR. That's what Christian said. No, that doesn't work that way. It's a loan. He didn't sell them. He loaned them all out. The excuses they use and that he uses, as I said, are the main reasons I want them gone. Injuries, silly red cards, terrible football, tiny squad, overpaid players, all the things that come from him. It all goes back to him. He's the cancer of the club. You have to cut him out now and start again.
They're not prepared. They're not prepared to take a step back and look and say, okay, you're blaming injuries, you're blaming red cards and that. They're not prepared to sit back, just like we're sitting back and taking a broader look and saying, well, actually, this is the reason why, because you run these guys into the ground. You didn't do what you're meant to do in the summer, and therefore you're relying on your first 11. When that fails, you look on your bench, you ain't got anybody. You look on your bench, you ain't got anybody. So what you're doing is then you're mishmashing them. You're saying first 13, you're trying to move them around like chess pieces, hoping that it will work. That's why you turned around and said, well, Moreno is our IT solution. And me and Aaron are doing quite well in that business now.
We're flush, mate.
We're flush. You know what I'm saying?
But all these things that we've been talking about, that's without his actual management skills, his in-game management. So on top of the injuries and top of the transfers and the wages and the squad he's built over the years he's been there, take all that away, as add that to his actual in-game management in big games. And these are all the things. These are all the things why he's got to go. And I said it, and I keep saying it. If we are serious of winning any trophy, this should have been his final season. When he rocked up with no trophies this season, and I don't want to hear, but he got a second. The only reason why we came second is because a lot of clubs have fallen short this season. We've never been in a title race. And then we get to the Champions League semi-final and look at the absolute dross he turned out there. Absolute dross. The first leg at the Emirates, then the second leg. That's without the Newcastle game and the Man United FA Cup round. And this is what I'm saying. This should have been his final season. He should have been shown the door in May, and then we could have got Andre Berta getting and doing his business. New manager in, so now you've got a new manager new sporting director, money to spend, new striker, new players. Start again.
You see, DJ, I was on with BBK, Taron, absolute legend, BBK Sports. But he messaged me and said, "Oh yeah, he wanted me to come on." He said, "What we're going to do is we're going to come up with 5 reasons each through Arteta's career why he should have been sacked." And within about 2 minutes, I'd sent my 5 back, and he had sent me his 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I said the hardest part was trying to fit them in because there was so many. But you can go through every season and find 2 or 3 reasons that another club would have sacked him. You know what I mean? You only have to go to the way he handled the Aubameyang thing when he went public and humiliated them and let everybody know that he'll never play again. So he went from being a 15 million player to a 0 to get nothing for him. Straight away, he lost his money. Ozil lost his money. Finishing 8th the second season. Sackable. He had spent money. Then finishing 5th the next season when we were 8 points clear of Tottenham, of all teams. Threw it away because he got rid of all his players, fell out with. Getting rid of Guendouzi, sackable. And that season when we dropped out of 4th to finish 5th, we had no Europe that season. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And there's every year throwing away an 8-point lead at the top of the table, sackable for a top team. That should be sackable. You know what I mean? And then last season, or the previous to the one just gone, the way we started that season with Partey at right back and all, so you could squeeze Rice and Havertz and stuff in. It just an endless list of things that this guy has done wrong. And there's nothing I can find that makes me go, oh, he should stay. You know what I mean? There's nothing I can find that makes me go, he should still be here. It's just an endless list of things he's done wrong. And the cleverest thing he's done, and I've said this before, the cleverest thing he has done was, well, 2 things. Was coming in straight away with the phase bollocks and the process stuff, because he bought himself years with that. Yeah. That was clever. I'll give him that. I'm not saying he's stupid. He's a clever man. He's shrewd, right? So when he opened with that, he bought himself years. Straight away bought himself years. So that's very clever. And the other thing he's done, and this is along with the club, but he has really helped it with his journey talk and all that stuff, is lowering our standards so low that even the mainstream media now seem to look at us as this team that just challenging is massive. Like we're Brighton or something who had this, or Forest this season where we had this ridiculous run and nearly got Champions League. We are at that level now. And Gary Neville and all these lads that played against the Invincibles, that played against George Graham's Arsenal, they're all talking about us like we're this middle of the road team. And he has been the main reason behind this. He always talks about journeys and where the club has come from and all these little bits that he sticks in here and there. And he's slowly brought, and as Normsky says, he's leveled it down to this culture of mediocrity that we have to sit here and take all the time. And that's why when you're talking to these top gooners and they're saying you're greedy and you're glory, you go, what is wrong with you? And it's like Aaron says, when you kill the head vampire, they're going to wake up and go, oh God, we used to be good, didn't we? You know what I mean? We're fucking Arsenal, man. But we're not being greedy by saying, give us a cup, give us something, show us you can win. He cannot win. If this season had it gone on for another 5 weeks, we would have dropped out of the top 4. If I had another 4 or 5 weeks in it, we stumbled. Yeah. We stumbled over the line. Chelsea would have caught us. We stumbled over the line. Yeah. That was just last. Oh, please end it. Please end it. It was like a boxer waiting for the last bell. Please, I'm about to drop.
Shane, I always come back with this. I always come back with this. There's more evidence of failure than what there is of success with this manager. You can prove failure. Yeah. Yeah. You can't really. There's not really much proof of any success. And if people class finishing runners up successful, Champions League semi-final successful, then no, it's failure. You had your chance,
John.
He's had everything he's wanted.
He did win us an FA Cup, though, the only trophy that Arsenal and Arteta rather has won at Arsenal.
Single-handedly.
He single-handedly, he did. In the semi-final, without him in the semi-final and the final against Manchester City and Chelsea, respectively, we don't win that competition. It's as simple as that.
No, not even close.
It's as simple as that. Yeah. You know, granted, we didn't win the league, but to be fair, when he took over in the time that he binned him off, we never really had an opportunity to.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Not the time that he took to bin him off. He was never going to, not playing at left wing either. He's Aubameyang crying out loud. Yeah. And then expect him to do a left wing back's job at times and all. Come on, man, this is Aubameyang. That's just a gross misconduct of a player. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Could you imagine? It played Thierry Henry at left wing.
He needed man management skills. That's what it needed. The situation Aubameyang was in then, you needed a manager with good man management skills. Any other manager would have come to some sort of middle of the road agreement and got Aubameyang back on track.
Strip
But
him of the
no.
captaincy and still let him play. That's enough punishment. Strip him of the captaincy and let him
Yeah.
play. You know, but
Not
he
this-
wanted him out. He wanted him out the day he got the job. DJB. He wanted him out. He wanted Ozil out. He wanted Guendouzi out, and he wanted Martinez out. The 4 biggest personalities. He wanted all of them out from the day he was just looking for excuses to get rid of all of them. Because when Guendouzi grabbed, was it Mopoi by the neck, never played again. Jacket did the same thing 3 weeks later. He made him captain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he wanted all these guys out. The day he took over, he looked at that team and he went, "Who's the big personalities here? Right, you, and you. I will find a way to get rid of you."
Yeah.
And you get in a lot of the team of yes men. Oh yeah, it's nice. They'll do whatever he says. They'll G up the crowd and all that. But no team in history has ever won a league or a Champions League / European Cup with a whole team of yes men. It's impossible. It's impossible. You need a Ronaldo, or you need a Rooney, or you need a Messi, or you need someone that's got that, and you need several of them, by the way. And you need a Puyol, and you can't do it with and even for Declan Rice. I mean, he's got a bit about him, but I don't think he is that guy to stand up to the manager. I don't think he'd stand up to the manager. And that's the problem. You need someone that Ferguson got in blazing rows with Roy Keane. He got in blazing rows with what was the worst one he had was Gary Neville was saying it with Peter Schmeichel. He said Gary Neville said he's never seen anything like it. He thought they were spitting on each other, they were screaming in each other's face. And to the point where Ferguson said, "I'm going to have to sell you." And then Schmeichel apologized to the team, and he never spoke to him again about it, but he just never didn't sell him then. Proper man management. 2 men sitting down talking it out and saying, "Listen, we got a bit heated there. I apologize. Done. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on." Instead of, "I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to get rid of him and him and him," because they have personality. And I mean, and we've seen what happens without players of personality. We threw away a Champions League spot and we threw away the league. If we had players of personality, that wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have happened.
No. You need that. You need that kind of personality on the field in big games. You need it.
Yeah, he wants the ball. He wants the ball when things are going bad.
Yeah,
they hide when things are going bad. You want a player like that will miss 2 or 3 chances and still want the ball all the time. Give me the ball. Jack
100%.
Wilshere was like that. He'd lose the ball several times. Ramsey had that in him. If he lost the ball, he'd say, "Give it to me again. Give it to me again. I'll go again. I don't care. I'll go again." These players, if they have a couple of mistakes, Odegaard especially, you only have to look at Havertz against City when he missed that open goal. And then the next chance he had an open goal.
That was to make it 2-0. That was to make
and
it
he laid it off to Odegaard then. He should have shot.
Yeah.
And he panicked and laid it because he had missed a shot. Any like a Haaland would have said, he would have been even more. He would have wanted the ball even more to make up for the miss. Give me that ball, and he would have smashed it home. He would have put his
100%.
laces through it and given it a bit of that. Havertz panicked and laid it off. And he's our main guy. He's our top paid player. I found out the other day, actually, I was looking up Villa's wages. Their highest paid player is on the same as Zinchenko.
150.
Yeah, Tielemans.
Yeah.
On the same as Zinchenko, their highest paid player.
And you can get that because he was a free signing, wasn't he? So obviously, the wages go up a little bit, but they'd sell him for 20-30 million now, wouldn't they? If they wanted to.
Morgan Rogers is on 45 grand or something like that.
What?
Yeah. That's the way. But what's his name? Sorlot at Atletico's on 40 grand a week, because that's what they do. They get them in, say, "Right, I know you're good, or you think you are. Here's 40 grand a week." It's not like they're getting picked. I'd take 40 grand a week off anybody, you know what I mean? But I know they're footballers. But Sorlot had such a good season. I bet you he'll go up to about 100 grand now this season. And if he does it again, then he'll go up to 140 grand. Yeah. And if he does it again, he'll go like any other job.
Performance-related pay.
Of course. John, show me you can do it.
Arteta led us there. You're talking about, I can't believe we're discussing the scrap. Do you remember where we came from? Yeah, Emery led us to 5th in his last full season. Arteta led us to 8th and a European final, even though that didn't end very well.
Yeah, but he still got there.
Arteta led us to 8th. Then in his first full season, he led us to 8th and no Europe. Then he led us to bottling a 5th place v Spurs.
This bothers me, man.
Then he led us to bottling a league title against Manchester City. Then again, bottling a league title a year later. To last season, bottling, or this season, whatever you want to call it, not even being in a title race to bottle at any stage of the season whatsoever. He also got taken the piss out of in both semi-finals, losing all the legs. And we got taken the piss out of at Manchester United in the 3rd round, yet again, at home with 10 men. Like, that's where we came from. That's where we came from, where he brought us. Let's not forget that. We came from where he put us initially.
And where are we now? Still haven't won a trophy.
This is why it bothers me, Aaron. This is why this quote that we always hear, Christian use it all the time. Yeah. Do you want to go back to finishing 8th all the time? He put us in 8th. He's the one that finished 8th twice in a row. It wasn't Emery. And even if we did get spanked in that final against Chelsea, people forget that in the semi-final, we put 7 past Valencia over 2 legs. Arteta has 1 goal in semi-finals since we won the FA Cup. In 7 semi-final games, 1 goal. And we put 7 past Valencia under Emery. You know what I mean? It was Arteta that finished 8th, and then he finished 8th again in his first full season. Emery's first full season, he finished 5th and got to a final. Yeah. This myth that Emery had us in the doldrums, no, it wasn't great, and the players had turned on him and stuff like that, but he wasn't given enough time to fix it. He wasn't given the money to fix it. He got Pepe instead of Zaha, who he wanted. You know what I mean? He wasn't given what Arteta was given, and if he had been, if Emery was still here and he had been given 800 million, we would have definitely had a Europa League one. I think we would have had a League one, and we might have even challenged for a Champions League. If he had the money to spend, look at what he spent at Villa. He got Tielemans for free. He spent next to nothing at Villa. I'd take several of their players on our team.
This is a banging point from Gianni as well. And big up to you, brother. And he's saying, and I think this is also in response to the John and the Orba thing. I'm sorry, Orba would have won a league with Arsenal, especially when we bottled the league title. Oh, 100%. If we'd have actually kept him and played him up front, and done the Martinelli, pardon me, and the ESR on the left-hand side like he did with Saka on the right-hand side, that season would have won the league.
Yeah.
Plus, he's saying, he still scored over 20 league goals because of how many he got at Barcelona. Facts. He went there, I think, and scored like 12 or 15 goals or something silly like that, didn't he? And then obviously got the move to Chelsea. Then scored a lot in Marseille, and he's still scoring a lot in the Saudi league as well. He went to Barcelona after we ripped up his contract because apparently, no one else could pay for that. He went there, and didn't he get into a cup final and win a league title there? Smashed out the goals, and then went to Chelsea for 12 million or something like that. Like, what we doing here? Only at Arsenal.
Was apparently agreed when Barcelona got him. Apparently, it was pre-agreed that we'll take him for the 6 months, and then you give us 12 million. So they made money out of it.
That's ridiculous. What do you reckon on that as well? I actually think Aubameyang would have, if we'd have kept him there. We literally threw away the league title, especially towards the end, not scoring and taking chances.
You got to look at it. Yeah, you got to look
James
at it,
as well, by the way.
Yeah, you got to look at it, Aaron. We would have had a better chance, wouldn't we, with Aubameyang now? Because since then, you can see what's happened since he left. He hasn't replaced him, and we've just been found wanting for a striker. Yeah, and it's not rocket science because everyone's been saying it. Pundits have been saying it. Everyone's been saying it. If Arsenal had a striker, they'd stand a better chance. We didn't do it last summer, and now this summer we're back to square one again. And the longer it goes on, we're going to end up with third or fourth choice strikers. We're going to end up with a Garnacho, a Watkins, or someone like that. You watch.
Mate, that would be absolutely fucking disastrous. That's how it went.
Absolutely.
And the thing is you can see it. You just can see it. Us giving Manchester United 70 fucking million on Garnacho and being forced into giving fucking Aston Villa probably 60 or 70 for Watkins. Mm-hmm. And there we go. Arsenal Football Club again buying meek average players, moving the needle. I don't know, James. You've come into obviously this little bit here where we're talking about sort of it's come to the Aubameyang bit. We had a bit of El Mutante in the chat. What can you do? It's the same thing as Arsenal. Round and round and round we go. You've heard it all before. Copy and paste everything, man. We're still moving no further. It's frustrating times over here, bro.
Listen, you're getting linked with Sesko and Gyokeres. We're getting linked with Dominic Calvin-Lewin, mate. That's level to the game. So. Do you know what I mean?
Market opportunity, though, isn't it? The skirt, eh?
Burn down the fucking LS, mate, with Sullivan in there. That's what I'll say. But, it is what it is. Listen, I heard what you said about Aubameyang. When he was there, he used to score goals. He used to score a lot of goals. He used to get you sort of like 20 goals a season as good as, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he just haven't been replaced. I think what it is, as I always say on here, is that now you're going to have to go out and stake a claim because Liverpool are, City are, and Arsenal have to and all. But it's just a farce, mate. It's happening at West Ham and all currently right now. I don't know if you've been seeing any more stuff, Aaron, but
I have a little bit, yeah.
Even today, it's come out today that there's a lot of propaganda in the club. People are trying to spin the narrative to make it like it's not on the owner, it's on the technical like scout that we got currently at West Ham. It's all come out that it's all out of old bollocks, and it's all massively kicked off today. And I don't know what's going on with these football clubs, mate. I really don't. But they've got a lot of money, a lot of power, and we're just mugs. All of us just go there and like what it is. They use it. They play on our heartstrings because they know that we'll be back for more.
That's
It's
it.
it's always the same thing over and over again. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like at Arsenal on that regard, but I've always said it on here. It's the owner first before anyone, and the owner, like I think with you, it's more Arteta first, then the owner second. I might be wrong on that, but that's how it feels.
The thing is how we've handcuffed ourselves, mate, and a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat. Big up to every single one of you in the chat. 126 in the building, first class. Sub to all the guys. I'll get a new link out with James's in the link as well, and we'll pin that. A lot of it is you've got to put it on the Cronkies. Whilst they absolutely have given Arteta £750 million, you know, he's backed them. There's no excuses for Arteta to come up with nothing in that. That's inarguable. But where they do sell themselves short, the Cronkies still time and time again is the poor recruitment in terms of the managers that they sign. The board level over the years has been poor, who they've allowed to and entrusted in the football club. And but what by that I mean, at the end of beginning of last season, I think it was in September or October, maybe November, give or take or whatever. They offered Mikel Arteta, who was not being courted by anyone, by the way. No one was in for him. He had till the end of the year, maybe another year. I'm not too sure. I'll have to double fact check that on his contract. And they just give him 15 million quid out the year, just totally out the blue. Instead of making what I would believe is an accurate and correct business decision and going, okay, Mikel, cool, no one's really in for you. What we'll do is we'll see what you do at the end of the season. And if you do all right, we'll give you a new deal. And if we don't, we'll have to pay you off 3 million quid. Maybe we don't even if his contract expired. I need to double check on that before I clarify the point. But the point I'm trying to say is, why on earth would you give a manager that don't win anything, has bottled every single thing that he's done, has wasted a lot of their money, by the way, why would you give him 15 million quid a season at the beginning of the season? All we've done is just handcuff ourselves to either, if we want to get rid of the geezer, is a year into that, so we've paid him 15 million quid, is at least going to get half a year here. So there you go, there's 21 million quid. And then we'd just have to end up paying him another 20 million to just get out the deal, to get a new one in. And all of that, we're just the ones that suffer with it. We've got this prick yet again. If he hadn't signed him a new deal, but what could have easily happened is Alberta comes in and then Alberta gets his manager. Arsenal Football Club are then in a good thing to get a new manager this season. But because we signed him up on such astronomical wages, we're stuck with him, James. It's just poor decision making from top to bottom.
What it is, right? I'm seeing like similarities with Arsenal to West Ham to a point. Arsenal's ambition is a lot more higher than ours. We all know that. But the one thing I will say is that it seems like these owners nowadays, I don't know about you boys, but it seems like they accept anything. As long as the money's coming in, they don't care who it is. Now, like we've said it before with Arteta, there has to be an end goal to it. I think next season, that's it. Right, because if he don't put his finger out next season, and I remember what one of the boys said on here before, I think it was the man, my guy at top right there, about finishing fifth. Like if he finishes fifth, then there's a decline there. Do you know what I'm saying? On the other side of it, with the West Ham side, from my side, is we're going backwards. We're going backwards fast, and we've got a lot of in-house problems, and we've got a lot of stuff in regards of the owners really doing like a smear campaign. Now he's got his full guy in place, and he's basically preparing us that it's going to go wrong, and if it goes wrong, he's the blame. It's sort of come out today about it. And it's really fucking got off today. I done a video earlier on for about an hour and a half on my own, done a Q&A session with all my chat, and I just said to people what they thinking. No one's happy, mate. No one's happy, and it's not how it should be. Do you know what I'm saying? And this thing, I see your video the other day, Aaron. Fucking love you, boy. I really do. Right? And it was like the date on it was like the 13th, I think it was. I think it was the Friday night thing you was doing. Yeah. And it says, "Oh, don't worry, it's just the 13th." I've been getting that and all. Don't worry, it's the 14th, it's the 15th. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, if I know the date, I'll fucking buy a calendar. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I know what fucking date it is. Yeah. So, you know, I had it weeks
ago, James. I had it weeks ago. I had it weeks ago when I was on Dan's show, and
Big up Jamie Phillips, by the way. Big up.
And he said, And he said, "Oh, don't panic. Don't know why we're all panicking. Calm down. It's only the first week of the transfer window."
Is
Well,
that
that's
the same
gone.
guy that was on his own stream 4 hours before
That's
panicking?
gone. That's
Yeah.
gone. That's gone. Next week, we're coming towards what? Pretty much the end of June. We're being to July. And as I said it earlier on, my biggest fear now is that we're going to put so much effort into getting this Sesko guy. All the other positions we need to strengthen in,
Yeah.
before you know it, all the effort's going to go into one. And before you know it, we're going to miss out on everything else. And then we'll be panicking. Come August, we'll be panicking. We'll be trying to, oh, right, God, this Sesko's taking a long while. Oh, we better go and get we still need a left midfielder, and we still need a left back, and we still need this, and we still need that. That's what I said. Our squad in 5 years under this manager, when you take the whole squad, not the first 11, the squad, people covering for injuries, people covering for players covering for suspensions, etc., etc. There's still so many holes in it.
Yeah.
Nowhere you can, no position you can actually turn around and say we've got adequate backup.
Mm.
Nowhere. Timber gets injured. We got White, who's carrying an injury.
mate.
If them two get injured, you're looking if Party's still at the club, Party to fill in at right back. That shouldn't be happening after 5 years and 750, nearly 800 million. And by the time this transfer window's finished, this manager would have had, get your head around this as a West Ham fan, £1 billion in transfers in money. £1 billion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
In the same time that Inzaghi at Inter made 114 million profit.
Yeah,
Inzaghi made 114 million profit.
Shane, £1 billion, and we have still got departments in our squad that's not covered. That's still weak.
Can I ask you,
Shouldn't
boys,
it-
say, what do you
on,
make of like when people turn around and say that to you about the transfer window isn't open? Liverpool look like they're going to go and do their record signing. You got Man City dropping fucking money from God, by the looks of it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got, because it's very similar with West Ham and Arsenal at the minute with the transfer situation, because we're in the same boat. I'm like, well, come then, like, this is a major rebuild that we've got to do. Like, you've evacuated near enough half our squad. Where's the players? And apparently, on our side of things, we've got to sell before we can buy. So that's a bit of a major concern with us. But what you say? What's the Arsenal reflection on that in regard to Man City and Liverpool?
Well, do you know what as well? This is sort of what I'm saying. And there's a fellow in there in the chat, Jamie Phillips. Yeah, I'll go into his. He puts out great content over there. I'll go and have a little watch of his stuff, mate. They are fucking in party mode over there in these Liverpool chats, mate. I'm telling you. Not only have obviously they're on the back of winning the league, they're now seeing their team adequately replace one of their own, their right backs with, like I said this earlier, with probably the best player that they could have on the market that suited to their style. They've signed in Gyokeres. They've replaced their keeper. They've got in Florian Wirtz, who gets into every single 10 and every single club in the world as a number 10. It's just fact. Like I always say this, it reminds me of Ozil to Real Madrid. It's an absolute baller of a signing. But mate, I promise you this: they are loving it over there. They are buzzing because they know that when you're at the top, and Alex Ferguson done this better than anyone else. When you're on top, that's when you keep pushing. You can't just stand still. Arsenal Football Club are standing still when we're not on top. Arsenal Football Club are trying to compete with the likes of Liverpool, and they didn't compete with them once last year, by the way. And them having a significantly better transfer window than us. They're leaving us behind. Look at Manchester City. I said this again. They've spent 200 million in the January. They've sorted out some defenders. Now they're getting Livramento in and Nori in. So now they've got a whole new defensive structure. Look at their midfield. They know it weren't as great. And obviously their forward line needed a bit of work. Cherky, Reinders in. Boom. They're getting that Naipan in. They're going, yeah, do you know what? This was the only year since 16-17 when Guardiola first came in, we finished potless. We're not going to do that again. They're spending 400 or 500 million to try and overtake us from third to second. Arsenal Football Club are trying to get from second to first for the last 3 years, and we're making money last year. We're not spending any money in January, and fucking this summer we're just letting everyone else pass us by. It's frustrating, mate. And like you said, you know, I do every Friday now. It's going to be a running theme thing every single week. Next week, the first week I've done it, the 6th. Calm down, it's only the 6th. Then I've done it last week. Calm down, it's only the 14th. Mate, them 7 days keep adding up and adding up, and soon it's going to be calm down. It's only the 20th. Then it's going to be July. Do you know? Then we're going to be in July, and all of a sudden, that's it. The clubs get you, but the later these deals go on in the window, the more these clubs have you by the bollocks. And I said this again earlier: the more chance you've got of a Barcelona going, yeah, do you know what, Lewandowski? Yeah, you know, he's not looking quite what he is usually doing. I'll tell you what, we'll go in and get Gyokeres. We'll go and get Gyokeres in the door. What about Liverpool if they sell some players? What about
PSG?
PSG? All of a sudden, Arsenal are humming and hawing about which one to get. Then that's it. Gyokeres has been taken because a club with big ambitions has took him. And guess what? Then it goes to leave us to Sesko. Now, what do Leipzig and their manager do? And Sesko's agent does. Leipzig goes, oh, so there's no decision now, Arsenal Football Club. So you want Sesko now, dear? Okay, there's an extra 10, 15 million on his transfer fee. And the wages of the fucking agent is going, okay, well, you know, we would have settled at 180k a week, but now we know you're desperate, Arsenal Football Club. Ergo is going to be 250 now. And we just get completely milked left, right, and centre. There's so many pros to getting your business done early. And Arsenal Football Club don't even know what fucking striker they want. And they've needed one for 2.5 years. It's just embarrassing that a football club as big as Arsenal, and now we've got a new geezer through the door who's supposed to be head of director of football with a CV. And it's just nothing's going on. They're like, oh, we're just going to do 2
Do you think
deals
there's
at once.
conflict in there?
Just do one.
I asked this to audience, right? Do you think there's conflict in there between Berta and like Arteta a little bit in regards of personnel that he wants?
I mean, probably, but the thing is what I wanted Bert to come in and do, and sorry, I let one of the boys jump in as well. What I wanted Bert to come in and do, and I don't think this is me being entitled or over-expectant. I want him to come in and go, I couldn't give a shit what signings that you want, Mikel Arteta. I couldn't care less how long they are down the line. I want this signing for Arsenal Football Club. I want him, I want him, I want him. That's who you're getting. If you're a manager like you are, you're a good coach like you claim to be, like Sane and Sterling always say you are, go and get the best out of the players that I give you then. And there shouldn't be a tug of war here because they've both got individual jobs. You manage the team and I give you the team. There shouldn't be a tug of war. And you're right. There just seems like maybe there is. And, you know, you look at it this way. If say, for argument's sake, there is a little bit of a tug of war, but Bert's going, okay, yeah, cool. Well, you can have your players this summer. What's the fucking point in Bert being here this summer? There's just so much pointless chess going on at the top of the football club. It's a mess, James. It's a mess, mate. And a lot of these fans are like, yeah, but we've finished second 3 times in a row. We got to a semi-final with the Champions League. No one cares. No one cares. 99, 2000 and 2001 when Arsenal finished second. Anyone remember that fondly on the panel? Chat? 121 in the building, like and sub. Anyone remember 99, 2000 and 2001 fondly? Because I fucking don't. I don't. I'll tell you what I do remember fondly. The year before and the year after when we done a double. That's what I remember fondly. Madness. It's just madness, boys. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in with that.
I look at it now that it's the fans, guys. It's the fans. I feel as if I'm having the piss taken out of me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel as if,
in what regard? Because
what
you're saying there, I've got a feeling that you're going to say exactly the same thing from the West Ham side also. I don't know why, but go on, I'll let you land on what you want to say. But I've got a feeling you're going to say exactly how I feel and all.
Yeah, I do. I feel that with like the season ticket prices going up, you know, they're the merchandise they're kicking out left, right, and centre, the PR that they're spinning everywhere, and now they're, you know, as Aaron just said, they're umming and ahhing over strikers. I mean, this Sesko was linked a year ago. Our manager wanted this Sesko a season ago. And we still can't get anything definite over the line. And this is, you know, and then Berta comes in and it's all glossed up about, oh yeah, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, and still nothing. Honestly, I just feel we're just being taken for a ride. I just feel there's so many fans contented with
runners-up,
and there's so many fans that are contented with semi-finals. There's too many fans comfortable with the way the situation is at Arsenal Football Club at the moment. And they're happy with the manager. They're comfortable. They go there. They have a couple of beers. They have a good time. They have the occasional moment where we win 5-1 or do something incredible. Just on occasions, we might show up and play brilliant. and that's all they're happy with,
And then
they're
it's back,
contented.
then
They're
it's back,
contented.
it's back to business as usual, isn't it? I keep saying, it's the culture of mediocrity, and I keep saying it. It's everything that they accept from the manager to accepting coming second 3 times in a row, to points tally, you name it, to having Sesko because he fits the profile. Listen, if we want to be a Stoke, then we're going to be a Stoke. Yeah. If we want long balls into the box and we don't want to play the football, because I want to see the football from 22-23 season. I don't want to be seeing Stoke football, which we saw last season. The football was atrocious. It was absolutely atrocious. And I mean,
you know what?
I'm saying, I don't know, yourself and DJB, you go there, you pay your money, and you're bored out your heads. Yeah. To the point where you're bringing sleeping bags. I mean,
yeah.
But is that a thing in modern day football? Because I've heard that on the West Ham side of things. Like, we don't ask for fucking much, but one thing we do ask for is at least a decent brand of football so we can get on board with it. Do you know what I mean? But is it a case of that it's the way of the world at the minute with football? Like, it's robotic.
I think we
were worse than anybody else. We were worse. No, we were worse football than anybody else. I always called it this bastardized version of Pep ball. That's the teams like Southampton coming up thinking they can play it from the back, and it's all sideways passing. But just like everything with Arteta, he takes it to the extreme. We're wasting time over throws 2 minutes into a game when it's 0-0. We're wasting time over corners. We had Wanyeri getting booked in the first half against Brighton for taking too long with a corner. We're only 1-0 up. And there's no way that a 17-year-old kid wants to waste time. There's no way that a 17-year-old kid who just wants the ball and wants to play football, he's being told to do this. And then when this dark arts, when it backfires, when Rice kicks the ball away, that was the rule at the time. Don't do it. You get sent off. And then
why would he naturally do that? Shane, isn't it?
Sorry?
Why would a kid naturally do that? I've never done that. Do you know what I mean?
No kid wants to waste time. None. They just want to play. They just want to play. And it was a rare start for him as well. He's being told to do this. We take it to the extreme. You only have to watch us against Newcastle. 3 shots in the last 3 shots on target in our last 3 visits to St. James's Park combined. 3 shots.
How many points have we come back with?
0. And out of the cup, out of this. And this is the thing. Like, Arteta has 1 goal in his last semi-final matches. 1 fucking goal in 7 semi-final matches. Emery's last semi-final first, we scored 7 in 2 legs against Valencia. We played a bit of football. So he has taken it to the extreme. And I am glad now it is going to change. You can see that Guardiola's going to go overlap with fullbacks again, which I'm glad. This inverted thing just enrages me. He's going to go, he's tucked the midfield in. And the fact that Liverpool won the league playing good football, Newcastle won the cup playing good football, Palace won the other cup playing good football, and PSG won the Champions League playing good football, that hopefully it's done. Because even Guardiola fell into the trap of playing the shit version of his football last season.
Yeah.
He even got sucked into it.
Completely agree with you on that. 100%.
He got sucked into it, and he realized it halfway through last season. Arteta now will double down on it, because that's the type of man he is. He will double down on it to say, well, I can't be wrong, because Arteta cannot live in a universe where he's wrong about something. Like all narcissists, he can't comprehend him being wrong, so he will double down on it like he does with Havertz. Like, you just have to look at our lineups. Like, I think you could count maybe 7 players that are playing out of their natural position every match. Lewis Skelly at left back should be in midfield. Wanyeri at the right should be in the 10. Royce in the 8 should be in the 6. Martinelli out the wing should be up front. You know what I mean? Ben White came as a centre back. He's playing at right back, and our fucking keeper plays left back. You know what I mean? So this is the problem. He has taken it so far down the line that the only games that we spanked teams last season, I won't even count the Madrid 3-0, because that game was quite even until Royce scored a free kick. And I will add, when he did score the free kick, it was one of the only times they've gone against the manager and said, you know what, I'm shooting. And look what happened. But the game, like when we beat Sporting, even if you put the Madrid one in and the City one, they're the only times that we do that now is if we come up against a team whose tactics suit his plan A. And that's it. If their tactics, if his plan A works against their tactics, we can beat them. If they change it around whatsoever and play a low block, we're done. He's been struggling with low blocks since just before Christmas in 22-23 season, when Sean Dyche's first game for Everton, and he locked up and stopped our run.
I think with Arteta's tactics also that you have to score first. And then once you score first, he has control in, of the game. I noticed that last season with Arsenal. Maybe I might be wrong on that, but
Oh no. Sure, we lost 10 draw. We lost from 10 winning positions.
Yeah.
Or 11.
Yeah.
but
I think
but
that was
doesn't
more the season before we were really good when
but
we
doesn't he?
Season before, yeah.
But doesn't he sort of shut it down? He goes 1-0 up, and then he starts playing the dark hearts.
That's where he's getting caught though.
Yeah.
But we're getting
Yeah.
caught out all the time now. You see,
Yeah.
we're throwing them away because if we go 1-0 up against Southampton, he'll lock up, which is just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
When you should be going for 2 or 3. Yeah.
The Arsene Wenger teams used to go 3 or 4-0 up. The original Arsene Wenger teams, and then they'd start messing around with the ball. What Wenger fell into in his second period was we started messing around with the ball from tip off, trying to score the perfect goal.
You have players with end product then. We've got no end product now. Yeah,
no end product,
none whatsoever. We've got Martinelli. This is why, obviously, if I know this is hypothetical, but if Arsenal was to get Gyokeres, who's proven over 3 seasons, he got 89 league goals alone, he can put the ball in the back of the net. And I'll come to Jamie's thing in a second about systems as well. If we was to get Rodrigo, and I don't think we will, but if we was to, that elevates Arsenal's attack so much in that Martinelli gets it. He does a lot of the hard work. Okay, well and good, but his end position and product and decision making is so poor. So we've got Martinelli, who say out of 10 passes will probably successfully make 1 or 2 of them. And then we've got a striker in Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, who probably will take the shot 1 in 10. So we've got things have to almost align for that left-hand side to work. Do you know what I mean? You've got such statistics that are going against you. Whereas for Arsenal Football Club, we've got the Kai Havertzes and the things like that. They're not moving the needle on the football club. And I wanted to say what Jamie's saying is like you should have a manager saying about the system, and he buys players and change it to suit them. He's got no vision. He's got no vision, mate. And the problem is he's playing these systems, Jamie, and they don't work. And this is why, and I think DJB said this quite rightly, we could get the Rodriguez, and this is the point I wanted to say, we could get the Rodriguez in, we could get the Gyokeres in, we could get the Zubamendi's in, we could do this, but the system doesn't work. And this manager is unwilling to change it, Jay. He won't do it. He won't do what Conte done when they won the league. Do you remember when we smashed them at 3-0 at the Emirates? And then what did he go and do? Change the system when they won the league.
Yeah. And I've been saying this from day one. The problem is, and I said it during the season. I said it towards the end of the season. We could bring in any player you want. Unfortunately, Arteta does not know how to change a system. He don't gamble. He can't take chances. He's not willing to. And the best example I can give you was PSG in the semi-final. The biggest game in Arsenal's recent history. Biggest chance we've got to get into a Champions League final and potentially winning it for the first time ever. And he stayed with the same system. Didn't try anything. Didn't bring Martinelli on off the left. Didn't switch Odegaard. Didn't switch Rice. What did we end up doing? Long ball throw-ins. Raya kicking the ball 30 yards down.
Ranieri didn't get a minute. Ranieri didn't get a fucking single minute.
Yeah.
Ranieri didn't get any game time at all. And this is the problem. If Gyokeres comes in or Sesko comes in, you can bring any player into that football team. He will find a way to completely ruin them players.
Yeah.
Gyokeres won't score more than 15 goals if we sign him.
Max.
And Sesko's going to probably get about a dozen.
If he's lucky. And see, the thing is, DJB, and I've said this since time as well, but you and me have gone back on this before about it doesn't matter. We could get Prime or 9. It wouldn't matter. Yeah. Wouldn't matter with his system. Because what he does is, you see Gyokeres at Porto, he really found his feet there because Amarin built a system that says, say to the left wing back, if he makes this run, this is the ball you pass. To the right wing back, and when he makes this run, you play it this way. He likes it crossed here, he likes it here, he likes it here. Where Arteta would get him and say to Gyokeres, I want you to make this run and I want you to make that run. Why would he tell a forward that is that instinctive how to make a run? Bobby Robson said at Barcelona when he had young Ronaldo. He signed him, brought him with him. And he said that Ronaldo kept making these runs and he was shouting at him from the side of the pitch, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then it clicked with him. Why am I telling him how to make runs? He's the best forward I've ever seen in my life. I should be learning off him what runs the players should make. You know what I mean? So if we got Gyokeres, what Arteta does is he has his rigid system and he signs players that don't suit it, and then he just tries to squeeze them in like a round peg into a square hole, and he's just like that right now. You do this.
But Shane, I said it on my stream yesterday. Name me a player that played with freedom yesterday, last season. Name me a player that actually played with freedom. Name me a Vitinha in Arsenal's team that actually played with freedom, popped up on the left, popped up on the right, dropped deep, joint the attack, made runs beyond the forward line. Name me one player that did that last season. You can't.
I saw Ranieri near the end of last season take a touch, came down, he took it down. Remember, like he did against City when he cut inside and slapped it, right?
Yeah.
And he's done it several times. He took it down, cut inside, and then he just stopped and laid it back. And it broke my heart to see it. Oh, and he's already got him. He's ground him down.
Already got
he's already ground him down. Got his claws in.
Yeah,
he's got his claws in him, and it broke my heart. And you have to look at the Champions League final, right? PSG 2-0 up, and Vitinha, their number 6, their anchor man, burst forward with the ball, beat a couple of players, kept going with it. And then he slipped it through to Doué, who finished the game off. If Thomas Partey had done that with us 2-0 up in the game, burst forward, he would have been roared at from the sideline. What are you doing? Give the ball off. Vitinha made the run, burst forward, played in the player, killed the game off, won the final because he had the freedom to go and do it. And I'm pretty sure I haven't watched it in detail, but I guarantee you when he made that run, that one of the 8s or the 10s or whatever.
And have a look at Declan Rice, right? You know when we're under pressure and the game's not going well, or we're losing, or we're trying to go for the winner. Declan Rice will try and get the ball and drive forward like he used to at West Ham, and he'll try and make things happen. But then slowly he'll look across, and then 2 or 3 minutes later he's getting the ball and passing it sideways. Because he's been told, hold your line, hold the line. You make yourself available.
It proves it in the Real Madrid game, didn't it? When he took it on himself to say about the free kick, and
he probably still got bollocked for that, man. He probably still got bollocked for that after the game.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because a few weeks before against Forest, we were drawing 0-0. It was around the time Arteta said over his dead body, are we giving up on the league? And it was 0-0, and he put on 2 defensive players, so he locked up for the draw. So he openly admitted with that he was playing for second. But there was a free kick we had in injury time when Declan Rice had it. And you know why he's so good at whipping it from about 30 yards outside the box, and he gets to whip in it and he crosses it. He did it against Liverpool. He's done it numerous times.
But I've got some news for you, lads. I've got some news for you. Look, there's old Deck with old Mark Noble there, son. Tapping him up. Go on, Mark, son.
Yeah, 200 million is yours, mate.
Yeah, you can have it. 250 million. But like Martinelli, did you see Martinelli when he's complete persona and body language when he played against Southampton down the centre, or his whole completely changed. He looked like a new fresh player. And this is what I'm saying. He doesn't try anything. He's not brave enough.
But the thing is, Arteta teased this with us when Arteta took over, and I think at the time Martinelli was injured, and there was this talk about, because after Aubameyang, I don't know if we'd got rid of Aubameyang then. There's talk, we're thinking about playing him down the middle, and everybody was getting on there. Oh, really, can't wait. The long and short of it is he didn't end up playing down there. He was just playing a game with the fans as usual. And he ends up, I don't even know if he played the amount of games he did, because I think that was the year when we finished 8th that year. But yeah, he decided that he weren't going to play. I don't think he played much that season anyway. Do you know what I mean? Coming back from injury, but he was teasing us and saying, we want to see him down. We think you can play down the middle. And under Unai Emery, he did well. Unai Emery did it. And they decided.
All of us thought that was his natural progression, isn't it?
Yeah, but why is he trying to do it at the end of the season? I mean, the season is gone, and you're now going to play him down the middle. Why? What's the point?
Why didn't he do it against PSG? Try something different.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Too late.
Too late. It's ridiculous.
He either doesn't learn his lesson, or he learns it and it takes him too long. That's just a fact.
And when he does learn, Aaron, he doubles down. When he learns it, he doubles down to prove that he's right.
Yeah.
At the detriment of the club as well.
Who do you boys want out of the two? Sesko or Gyokeres? Because I think Gyokeres is a good player. The only thing that is a little bit of an issue with Gyokeres for me is that he's done it at the championship level. Can he do it at the big boy level now? Yeah, where basically he's not going to be in Portugal no more. He's going to be in the Premier League. So every week he's going to be up against good defenders and not some like has-beens who are just like there for a payroll. I think he's a good player, Gyokeres. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a very, very good player. But is it a case of that? Does the system, which we're sort of discussing here, does the system match the player? And if you're like, is he going to be as effective as you want him to be? Do you know what I'm saying?
Not with us, not with our system. He won't. Not with our. If he went to a Liverpool or he went to a City or something like that, or a Newcastle that plays good football, he would still score. He wouldn't get as many. He's not going to get as many. You know what I mean? But you never know. I quite like forwards like Ian Wright that develop later. Sometimes something clicks with them. Something clicks with them in their mid-20s, and you're on mute. Ivan Toney. Something clicks with them, and they get older. Ian Wright was 28 when he signed for us. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just clicks for them, and they learn their craft. And you know what? They're hungrier as well. They're hungrier because they think this is my. I didn't think I was going to make it. He was playing in the Championship 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And now he's the most sought after striker in the world. So he's going to be hungry to go. This move has to be massive for me. Yeah. But the thing with Gyokeres is, and people saying, "Oh well, he only did it in Portugal, and Sesko will suit our system." All right, well then put it this way: can these top gooners tell me that if Sesko went to Portugal for 2 years, that he'd score 68 goals in 66 games? There's no fucking way he would. There's no way he would. You know what I mean? So you can say
you flip the script, Shane.
You can say all you want that he do this there and he do that there, but there's no way Sesko's going to any. If he could do it in the Portuguese league, he could do it in the German league. You know what I mean?
Shane,
so it makes no sense.
You're not allowed to flip the script on the top gooners.
Oh no, never.
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do it. You can't use their own logic against them. You're not allowed to do that.
Don't dare do that. Don't dare do that. It's like when I said to Gal when he said we only have 3 midfielders. And I said, what are you talking about, man? Like we have, and I named off 7 or 8 midfielders. Oh, well, he's not a midfielder. He plays out left back. No, just because Arteta's decided to play Sketty at left back for 6 months doesn't make him a left back. He's a midfielder. And then I hit him with the hypothetical of, okay, so you telling me that if we get Zubimendi and halfway through the season, Arteta decides that he's an inverted right back, that he's just never a midfielder again. Oh, well, he'd never do that. I said, it's a hypothetical question, mate. I'm not saying he's going to do it.
Tell you what, there's a lot of propaganda out there.
So what we're going to do, Pokemon Go, is on the 1st of July, I want you to come back, and when we've not signed Zubimendi, when we've not signed a Kepa Arrizabalaga, when we've not signed a Rodrigo or a Williams, or anyone else, when we've not signed a Sesko, signed a Gyokeres, or you're going to come back here, and I'll tell you what, come back on this show. I'll do a show on the 1st of July, and do you know what I mean? If we've signed all of said above, I'll put my hands up and go, do you know what, Pokemon Go speller 1 2 3? I was talking absolute fucking crap, and you had a fact. You've got my number there. So on the 1st of July, that's it. All these players are going to come in, mate. We've not even fucking got medicals for them yet. We haven't got medicals for 2 of them players, and we ain't even decided on which one of the strikers we're getting.
Well, he's educated me here.
It's like my missus when you give her the remote on the telly. Like, what do you want to? You pick. I don't know what film to watch.
It's like trying to order a Chinese with a missus, isn't it?
You know, oh, mate, don't even get started on that. Do you know how many times I've tried ordering a Chinese or an Indian or something?
Mate,
like
I've been on the sofa many nights,
mate,
trying to order fucking Chinese, lads.
It's like trying to pick somewhere to go on holiday, isn't it, with your missus?
Yeah.
I promise you, the amount of times we've
They
had
want you to make them visit what it is. That's what it is.
Meanwhile, the rest of the holiday's going up and up and up and up, and you're still trying to decide.
This guy's educated me, though. This guy's educated me because I didn't know that the financial rules only apply to us.
I was asking the same question.
It doesn't apply to City, and it doesn't apply to Liverpool.
Apply for Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's mad. Okay, so that's my fault. Sorry, because I just take back
Maybe
everything.
he's got some insight. Maybe he's got some insight.
The rules only apply to the classiest clubs in the world, so it's got to be Arsenal, and you've got to have an attractive manager. Then the rules apply to you. Yeah, if you've got an ugly manager, the rules don't apply.
Does that other rule, Aaron? Does that other rule as well that if you have like 80 million to spend in the summer and you need a striker, that you're not allowed to spend on a striker? You have to buy Calafiori and Marino. Does that rule as well?
Yeah, so and you have to make sure that they're not even good squad players as well. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah,
there's that rule as well that if you kick the ball away, that you get booked. That doesn't apply to anyone else.
And don't forget, you have to sign a Chelsea reject because the last 10 we've signed have worked so well.
You have to do that every year as well. And if that's not possible, sign a Man City reject.
That's in with a fee.
Yeah. Or get Sterling in, they're both. Super reject. Or just get Sterling in.
Yeah, get Sterling in.
I haven't asked you about Kepa, Aaron. How do you feel about it?
It's one of the most ridiculous signings we've ever made.
Do you know what? It's one that thankfully I weren't too happy, and I'm still not too happy about it. But thankfully, it's typical Arsenal that they'd usually give him 250k a week and spend 100 million on him. Do you know what I mean?
So even that's not confirmed.
At least it's going to be a cheap flop. No, that's what I'm saying.
And
but it's not July the 1st. We've all got to wait till July the 1st.
On July the 1st, we're going to wake up to 4 new players. We're going to wake up to Kepa, Sesko.
That's what
they can go. What wait till July the 1st with Verts then and
end of stream, Aaron.
Yeah,
It's done.
that's it.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait till the first. That's when everybody's
done.
coming in.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. I'll tell you what. Yeah,
That's
no
my
content
mind
until
at
the
rest
first.
now.
Trouble
That's
is,
I know.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm so glad
well, the other
Pokemon
point
came in the
is-
chat because
That's all of us, lads.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Waiting for
football
July the
clubs, that's
1st.
Arsenal and West Ham at the moment. with
Waiting
the
for July the
Muppets, mate.
1st.
looking out the window,
Yeah.
waiting for July the 1st.
Muppets.
That's all. That's
I've
all
said
us,
it all
mate.
along. We finished second,
still got
and we're no
15 more
better off
days
than
to
West
wait.
Ham. We got
I
to
know.
semi-final of the Champions League, second in the league, and I keep saying it. We're no better off than what West Ham are. West Ham have got problems signing players and everything else. They didn't win anything, nor did we. We're no better off. We're both in the same boat.
We're going to get a cat called Draw as well in the summer.
Yeah.
On July the 1st, a cat called Draw's coming in.
Just a quick.
Yeah.
Can I just
Yeah,
say,
yeah, get a hamster
sorry,
on,
Norms, can
man.
I just say something as well? All these signings, we're talking about signings, we've still got players to get rid of.
Yeah.
Look at the players we've still got at the club.
On top of
the
the 17 we released.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah,
of you? How many are you looking to get rid of?
But that's the thing. There is no sellable assets apart from Martinelli of players that mightn't be a first team starter.
We're
You know,
stuck with them.
Saliba. I can see Saliba going. I think PSG are going to start sniffing around him, and he will suddenly go. It's not just Madrid anymore.
I think
he
next
will
summer he goes. I reckon.
But he's only got a year left, though, Aaron.
I know.
I don't think Bertha will let that happen. I think that he's in. This is one of the only jobs I think where he might have a bit of control.
Can you see PSG coming in though and spending the 100+ on him this summer? Because I don't think Real Madrid, now that they've signed Housen and they're spending quite a lot of dough, I can't see them this summer.
Marquinhos getting old, man.
But you never know. Yeah, I don't know. I think whether we like it or sort of like not, I see the point there. Yeah, he'll have a year left on his deal, but it's not as if Arsenal Football Club ain't been there before. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we've been there, seen there, and done that. We've worn that ugly fucking t-shirt so many times.
I mean, where's Calafiori going to play next season?
Well, do you know what? This is what I wanted to bring up as well, because there's obviously a little bit of news in here, and I think if this does actually come right, I think Calafiori moves to Gabriel Magalhaes's understudy. I also then think we sell Kivior, we sell Zinchenko, and I'd like to bring this geezer in, to be fair, Yoel Hato, because I reckon, and I'll tell you why I believe that this kills two positions, right? Because one is an actual left back, and he's young, and hopefully he comes in and hits the ground running. I know a lot of hopefully, la-di-la-di-la, but hear me out. Not only does this signing at least sort out a left back sort of signing, it moves Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Miles Lewis-Skelly up to that left 8. Like I think we can't, even though he's been really good, MLS, he's not a fucking left back. He's not a left back. And I reckon the quicker we get him into midfield, the quicker he develops. I really do. I really do. I think Sod Zubimendi, I'd put Declan Rice in that 6, and I'd have him at left 8 all day long. Why do you need to spend 55 million on Zubimendi?
That just sorts out the problem
at the club.
Yeah. That sorts out the problem big time.
You're saving money by putting
He
Skelly
won't play him there, though. He will refuse to play Lewis Skelly in the left 8 because it will prove that his whole left back idea was wrong, and that's just the way it is. And people think that his mind doesn't work that way. That's exactly how his mind works. And let's just remember this: if barring injuries, his vision last season, Arteta's vision last season, was for our left side to be Calafiori, Marino, and Martinelli. That was his vision. One of the worst left sides in the fucking league, man. That was his vision for us to win the league, was to have Calafiori at left back, Marino as the left 8, and fucking Martinelli out the wing. I mean,
that left side was meant to be solved. That's what I think what happened last summer. They were trying to solve that left-hand side.
Yeah.
And look how it's come out. Yeah. Marino is what is he? Third choice was Real Sociedad?
And his fourth choice at fucking midfield at Arsenal. You can't write it.
The thing is, not only that, people are talking about, they're having a moan saying we're going for Gyokeres because he's 27, whatever. We bought Moreno, he's 28.
Yeah.
He's 28. So why are people moaning?
Yeah, and playing him as a number 9, Nomsky.
We signed Trossard at 28, 29. We signed, what's his name, Jorginho at like 31, 32. Like, what we doing?
What they're making noise for, man? I don't get it.
Apparently, I saw a tweet from that Welbeast fucking dross.
They're making a noise about Gyokeres is because it's not their manager's choice. Their manager
that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
So every other player we're linked with is not going to be good enough. They'll find an excuse not to sign Gyokeres because their chosen one, their manager, their Christ Almighty, wants Sesko.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's I saw a tweet from that Welby's lad who said, I'm just saying Arteta turned Mourinho into a goal machine, right? A goal machine, didn't get double figures. So if we get Darwin Nunez, I think he could be the next Suarez with us.
What? Who said that?
That was their man Welby said that, honest. Just because
That
he said,
geezer's a dickhead, man.
It's shocking. It is shocking, man.
What do you do with things like that? Like,
You just have to laugh it off.
You
man.
laugh
just have
and
to
get
laugh
drunk.
it off.
yeah. Get on the old whiskies, James.
But this guy has like hundreds of thousands of fucking young Arsenal fans listening to his drivel, utter drivel, man. And this is the problem. This is what it's going back to what Norm says. That and I've said it as well. But it's so clever what he's done and the club have done to just lower every season, lower the standard with just little comments all the time, bring it down. And now these young fans think that just the journey. It's always who enjoys the journey, man. The journey is the worst part of any holiday.
Don't worry about it. Shane, don't worry about it because on July the 1st, Eduardo Hagen has reassured all the Arsenal fans that the future of our goals is secured.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
all secured. He could become the best centre forward in the world. So the future of Arsenal Football Club, that's it. Done. Finished. Cool.
Who is the people?
Could. There's two words there. Could become.
Who are the people that sort of knock out the propaganda in a negative?
Arteta's a big part of it. Arteta's a big part of it.
Yeah, but from the fan base, because obviously, like, is it YouTube channels? Is it
AFTV have a huge sway on it.
YouTube, but the X is obviously probably the biggest culprit. I mean, you obviously saw what my man put on there, but but now you're finding that a lot of top gooners now are pushing that content on YouTube and they're just chatting a load of rubbish. TikTok as well. You know what I mean?
It's the most fashionable. It's the most fashionable club to tweet about. It gets the most traction. Arsenal get the most traction. So that's why you get other people that aren't even Arsenal fans.
That's
using Arsenal content, and then you have the likes of this Pincus lad out there making all these videos that everything's fine and the manager's great, and the kids are very influenced by it because he's stylish when he does it, and he's all like a geezer and he does all that, and they all fall for it.
And
you know what I mean?
And this geezer. There you go.
What fan base?
That's what's wrong with Arsenal.
Mate, they done it at West Ham. He's shot.
I know, yeah. That's what I was just going to say. Like, similar to you, James. I mean, like, he wouldn't make it out the boozer, would he?
If I'd done it on E20, mate, I'd get fucking annihilated.
Yeah, and quite rightly so, mate.
Oh dear.
Oh my God, unbelievable.
Name a fan base that would have that. Seriously,
you have to ask yourself the question: do they really? Do you think? I don't know. Do
you reckon that's why we're hated so much? Do you reckon? Because
we have more than any. I did this on my channel, and I asked in the chat. There was about 80 of me, and I said, "Does this happen in other fan bases?" And the general consensus was that yes, but we have a vast majority of. Like I was looking for that guy one time, but before I found him, I'd seen him somewhere, and I typed in like the guy that sings Arsenal songs. And there was about 20 other people, and they're all the same sort of bollocks, man. We are the most zesty fan base out there, and it's so shameful because we've become this sort of fashionable, you know, that they like to get their chai lattes. That's why the stadium clears out so quickly. DJB, they're all like, "Oh, I don't do crowds, and I don't, you know, man, and my anxiety's acting up, and all this sort of shit, man." And we are just a hate.
It is hard. It is hard because I'm going to say this, yeah. What you just said there, mate, you're 100% right. When you say about like the most hated fan base, because everyone's got their rivalries, like Liverpool, like Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, us with whoever fucking is on the agenda, like, you know. But I will say one thing: there is good and bad in all sort of fan bases.
Yes, we have a lot more bad though.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, I could sit here with you lads, have a chat, Arsenal, West Ham, football in life, but there could be one Arsenal fan who comes on here as we're on West Ham fan, tries to take the piss. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can be respectful when I have to be, and I don't think the modern day fan or supporter can be that. They have to be that fucking twat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And there's plenty of them, though.
Do you know what I mean? So it's very tricky one, because like for every like 10 good Arsenal fans, there might be like 20 not so good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Probably about 100, mate.
I had it with the Rice thing, right? When West Ham were looking to sell Declan Rice, I had the same thing. I did it on E20. I had it on Spaces. I do a lot of Spaces on Twitter, and I used to have a load of West Ham boys come in. We all start speaking, and there would be like it would get load of Arsenal in there, and we were talking about Declan back in the day 2 years ago, and they come in and say, "Yeah, your club's small, your club's this and that," and I'm like, it's just it does grind on you, but I guess that's just the way of football at the minute. It's just a different breed at the minute, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean they're the loudest on social media. Yeah, that's the thing. They're the loudest on social media, and we chat the most dribble you can think of. So it is what it is, and so we expect it, and we're just as negative Arsenal fans, like they want to call us a bottom gooners. All we want to see is the standards raised, and because we speak facts and not go by what's happening and getting carried away by every stupidness that you hear comes out of Arsenal. And people don't like that, and they don't understand. Do you know what I mean? Who are you going to get? Yeah, you can't. Arteta. Well, who was out there? Well, then throw it back at them and say, "Well, if he walks out the thing, who are you going to get then?" Yeah. As soon as we say, "Oh, we want him out," well, who are you going to get? There's no one better. Look where he's taking us from. Eight. Yeah. They don't remember that though, don't they?
Do you think a lot of these people get paid by the club?
Yeah. And see, the thing is that there's a couple of them that have made it, right, like this Semiu lad and your man Moneypenny, right, and they're upper class failed actors, right? They're upper class failed actors, and they're getting on Sky and stuff like that, right? So they're sort of making, so you get all these other ponces that are watching that going, oh yeah, I like the Arsenal, and they're following these guys. And you have your man Semiu there with his, he looks like Zippy, man, bango. But he's prattling on to about 200,000 people that are listening to him. And now it looks like these are the stereotypical Arsenal fans. It used to be a fucking Danny Dyer-esque, you know what I mean? And now it's these guys. It's these upper class fucking idiots, man, that talk down to everybody. I saw a stream with the two of them. It was like the Trinity of Evil having to watch them. There was two of them on the same stream, and they were basically, the subtext of what they were saying was, people misunderstand us because they're stupid. They didn't say it that way, but they thought that they were getting away with it, you know what I mean, with the way they were talking to each other. But they're just upper class idiots, man. They're both failed actors, and so that's why they're, able to play the game. But Aaron sent me the clip, the famous one of your man Moneypenny on with Jamie Carragher, and he's getting asked questions about Arsenal, and it's questions that even rival fans.
It's in that, James.
I think
staggering.
Yeah. Was that on the show where they
overlap? I think it is it.
Yeah.
And he didn't know who we beat in the '93 finals. He didn't know about the Tom Adams goal against Everton. It's staggering.
I'll get it up. Listen to this.
But
this is what.
But we've got Super Mick Arteta. Tell me, how do I have his babies?
We are exactly what we do.
Roberto Di Matteo, mate.
Lee, Arteta out.
Mate, have a little look at this fucking pillock, James, mate.
I'm going to see if I can answer him.
To followers, this guy.
I'm going to see if I can answer him.
You'll get most.
Okay. What team did Arsene Wenger join Arsenal from?
Monaco.
No. Who was Mikel Arteta's first signing as Arsenal manager?
Cedric Suarez.
No. Who scored the winner for Arsenal v Chelsea in the 2017 FA Cup final?
Aaron Ramsey.
Name the Arsenal midfield legend that was signed from AC Milan in '95.
Petit.
No, you're having a nightmare. Arsenal have had Arsenal have had 5 shared sponsors in their history. Name 4 of them.
JVC, Fly Emirates, JVC. Pass.
Dennis Bergkamp and Ian Wright scored a combined total of how many Arsenal goals? That's a hard one, that. 275, 305 or 335?
335.
No. Arsenal failed to defeat which two sides in the Premier League during 03-04 Invincible season?
United and Liverpool.
United and Portsmouth. Who scored the last goal at Highbury?
Henri.
Yes. Which Arsenal midfielder was known as the Romford Pele?
Ray Parlour.
How many Arsenal fans? What was Per Mertesacker's nickname?
BFG.
Yeah. Which Chilean international scored 80 goals for Arsenal?
Sanchez.
Tony Adams scored the fourth goal of the final home game of the 98 title-winning season against who?
Spurs.
You don't remember the Tony Adams goal?
I was 2.
Oh. Arsenal were the first team to win both the League Cup and FA Cup in the same season. Who did they beat in that final?
You don't repeat the question, sorry.
I've started so off.
I can't hear it. He needs it.
Arsenal were the first team to win both the League Cup and FA Cup in the same season. Which side did they beat in both finals? Are you winding me up? I know this.
If I answer it, can I take a point off him? Sheffield Wednesday.
Marathon.
Yes.
I was born in 97. I don't know half of these.
It was Everton as well.
I was born in 04.
Yeah.
And Wenger was
5.
Wenger was a Japanese
5,
team.
4.
There's Grand Passate.
Nah,
they were
That's
tough.
the one.
Them were tough to be fair.
4.
Roche and you're buzzing there. I sound like stuff.
No,
80,000 subscribers. What we doing here?
Oh, I was rattling through the brand, like JVC, Dreamcast. I was going like that. And Vieira was from AC Milan, wasn't he? Vieira. Yeah. I fucking know it, mate. Money penny.
That's
What
what
you
I mean.
saying, son?
Yeah, that's his actual name as well. His actual name is Alexander Moneypenny. That's what I said. Like I said before, that even if you didn't see him or meet him before, if someone said, "Oh yeah, my mate's coming tonight," "Oh yeah, what's his name?" Alexander Moneypenny. I go, I don't like him already.
If
You know what I mean?
Beat me up, Scotty.
Beat me up. If he said that at my old school, year 7, you know when you just move up from primary to the out, and he went, "Hello, what's your name?" I went, "Oh, Aaron, mate. What's yours?" Alexander Moneypenny. You'd get punched out the ribs.
Yeah, straight
That's
away.
it, yeah.
Smack.
School would be a difficult time for you, my friend, if you're coming out with a Moneypenny.
Well, your
Come on,
man,
man, what we doing?
the Semio lad's the same sort of character. Your man Zippy, oh, Bongo. He's the same sort of character, and he's got even more people watching him. And these are the two that, like, that's why it's sort of, even, I don't know, man. If they had gone into a stadium in the 90s or 80s, it would just got weighed in.
One thing he said on there, right? When he said, "Well, I was born in '97."
Yeah.
Like, even I was born in '86. I still have my fucking history.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know who scored for Arsenal's goals in the '79 final. I was born in '81.
Yeah.
I know about Ted Drake. He was 60 odd years before I was born. You know what I mean? You know your history. But the Tony Adams one really gets to me because that's the statue outside the stadium.
Yeah.
So now, not once did he either look at the
So
pack or
iconic.
ask someone.
That's
Did he
like
not
one of the
ask
most
someone?
iconic moments, like
It's up-
in
it's-
Arsenal
the-
history.
It'd be
Yeah,
in the top 3. It'd be in the top
sums
3.
it all up. Do you know what I mean? Come on,
Unbelievable.
man. How did he not get most of them, man? I mean,
But
the
there's
very
the two cup
thousands of
finals
them
against
fans,
Wednesday.
mate. There's
They're
thousands
the
of
only teams that have done it. But that's the problem, DJB, isn't it? That they're the ones getting the pedestal now.
Yeah.
So the other people will look at that and go, "Is he an Arsenal?"
big up to our southern absolute just for people in the chat. Me and Matty will be having a little cheeky one-on-one on Thursday, I think 3 p.m. So make sure everyone's going to be tuned in for that on my Make It Make Sense show. I'm looking forward to that. Matty always has got some interesting takes and interesting things to say, man. I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, big up, man. Yeah. Leave the geezer alone.
Leave the geezer alone.
That geezer, honestly, I don't know if anyone else has seen it on the panel, which Shane was ribbing him. This Pincus geezer done a couple of laps around the Emirates Stadium. Did he do 1, 2, or whatever it is? And he collapsed on the floor with a little nosebleed and everything like that. And it's funny that when he's not at his computer giving it all to Barry, he's actually got a little bitch voice.
But his persona voice is all like this. Leave the geezer alone. Yeah, but he grew up a QPR fan, and there's pictures of him with a Tottenham scarf, and he's representing our club. He did a video for Charlton. I showed it today. He did it with the Charlton jersey on, and the club needs you, fans, and all that sort of stuff. And all the comments are just,
what's his name? I'm gonna have to Google him.
Papa Pincus, he goes under. He's an absolute sellout, man.
What is he on? Is he on like all of them? Like, is he on YouTube?
He's on. He'd be more. Well, he blocked me on Instagram, but he's on YouTube as well.
YouTube, isn't it? He says
he has he took the David Coote video down off Instagram, but he still has it on YouTube because he did a whole thing about David Coote.
Channel.
The Papa Pincus. If you'll find the David Coote,
David Coote, yeah, I got him. Yeah,
David Coote video is the most self-serving thing ever. He's acting like he's putting up for the guy, but he's sort of saying, "Oh, that he's delivering packages now." But what he's doing is he's pasting it across the internet for everybody to see and humiliate.
Is that the geezer there?
That's him there. He's an absolute twat.
Let's hear him.
He's an absolute twat. He's been fast tracked. He obviously has a parent or something in media. I don't know.
I remember someone saying he was like a Charlton fan or something. He was over at Charlton, was he? Or
No, QPR. But he did a Charlton video, but he grew up a QPR fan, and there's pictures of him with the top. He'll do whatever it takes to climb the ladder.
Fucking would irritate me, mate. That's like someone making out their West Ham fan. There's pictures of him with a fucking Millwall fucking top one.
Mate, these fans, they need to be put down, mate. Honestly, like I'll pay the vet bill if anyone knows a dodgy vet. You know what I mean? That will give him.
Now, what it is, Aaron,
I'll do it.
in this modern day, right? There's a difference between real fans and the ones who are blagging it to try and get what they want to get to. Yeah, and you can, and that's why you can never knock channels like this, all right? Not channels that all you boys do, because you're real fans. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I've always been on E20, right?
Yeah, you've always kept it
because when you come across as real, like there's no side, there's no agenda there. Do you mean there's so much amount of stuff that I could sort of go into, especially on the West Ham side of things, in regards of people just taking fucking brown envelopes, mate, just to try and get influence over the fan base.
This guy has access. He has access. He's only been at it a year, and his videos of him with Ian Wright, Gilberto Silva, all these players. There's pictures of him at 10 and 11 with all the players. This is just outrageous. Look, it's so self-serving. He puts the music and all in.
The bloke made a mistake. Granted, a pretty bad one. It cost him his job. He took the hit and he's out of the game. But instead of sulking or hiding, he's cracking on with life. Getting up early, grafting like everyone else, doing what he has to do to look after himself and put food on the table for his family. And that ends up in the papers as if it's scandalous. Leave the geezer alone. Seriously, we're all human. We've all made mistakes. Like I said, he owned it. He moved on. Now let him live his life. Former Premier League.
Do you know what makes me laugh? You got this little kid like trying to give like life advice out there.
Yeah,
you know
he's 22.
like,
He's 22. Yeah.
He's grafting, he's doing bits with Germany. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen,
Like
mate,
it's not
if
this
I want
life
life
experience,
advice, I ain't coming to fucking Pinkus, you fucking absolute.
I tell you what, people like that fucking irritate me. Do you know why? Because right, when you set up a channel of any note, right, or anything like that, you graft for it. Like you're grafting now by fucking like making like getting people on, like times, people, topics of conversation, and then you got wankers out there who go, you know what, I'm just going to talk utter bollocks, and they might have someone who's involved, like Shane says, it in the media, which fast tracks them up, and they haven't got a graft for it. They haven't got to sit there at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning and listen to Lee Gunner go fucking mad on the. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got people in the way of the world at the minute. What I'm noticing, I don't know about you boys, but it feels like there's a lot of like everyone's don't care about the truth. They more care about getting to the top, and the truth doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what he seems like to me. He seems like the type of person to me that would go up, walk over his own granny to you know what I mean? That's the thing. But even with that video, right, where he says, I didn't know about David Coote delivering packages until I saw his video. So he's saying, "Oh, leave the geezer alone," while he pastes it across for his 120,000 subscribers to see him humiliate the guy. But it's so self-serving. The way he puts the music in and he acts like he's this, he's here to talk sense to people. But I mean, he's clearly being fast-tracked. But this is why on my shows I'm always taking these guys apart. And Aaron's the same. He came out with me. We took them apart. If we were in this for the same reason as them, we wouldn't do that because I might want to work with them one day, or I might want to, you know what I mean? So when you start playing it that way, then you move from being a football fan to being a content creator first. You know what I mean? Like Igal knows, for example, that if he was to make a video tomorrow and say, listen to all my subscribers, I finally have to admit it, Arteta has to go. He'd lose half of them overnight. So he knows he has to stick by it. Where we just speak exactly what we feel. Me and Aaron have had disagreements about Wenger and stuff like that. We don't just sort of agree with each other all the time. So you just have your own, when you stop speaking what you believe, you've gone over into being a content creator, and you're not a fan. I
completely agree with you on this.
Yeah, I mean that's what when you stop saying exactly what you believe And it's clear to me, I can see through people, and I'll go, well, you've changed, you haven't, you're real, you're not. You know what I mean? You can see it straight away when they start sort of humming and hand. Me and DJB relentlessly said coming up to the end of last season, if Arteta wins the Champions League, I still want him gone. And people laughed at us. And we said, no, this is about club going forward. Even if he wins that, we can see the problems because we want what's best for our club. You know what I mean? So we're getting absolute bollockings for that in the chat. I don't give a shit. You know, they can say what they want. But like, I'll come out and I'll call it. People say, oh, why do you let them get to you? It's for that reason alone. This guy, if he has 120,000 people on Instagram listening to his bollocks where he's saying that Arteta's a genius and the club's great, it's 120,000 more people that aren't going to stand up to this guy, and they're not going to protest, and they're not going to when AFTV or they've got 1.8 million people thinking everything's okay. Yeah. It's the influence. That's my problem with them. So I'm trying to discredit these pricks. I'm trying to discredit them and say they're not real fans. They're not real fans. They're content creators. If God came down to them, if God came down to Pincus today and said, I will give you all the success in the world, but Arsenal have to go bankrupt or they have to be dissolved, he'd take it. Like that, he'd take it. Where if God came into me and said, you can never do a stream again, but Arsenal win the league, I'll go, yeah, just cancel my YouTube.
Did he ever answer? You know what I mean? Did he ever answer, Shane, to basically the QPR? And the
There's a video of him going, oh, it's one of the things that most annoys me is the QPR links. Oh, I had a father-in-law that bought me a QPR tracksuit one time or something like that. But there's a picture of him in a Tottenham scarf, and he said, oh, it was just a kid. Yeah, well, that's when you make up your mind, mate. You know what I mean? That is when you make up your mind. But there's no money in being a QPR. There's no money in being a QPR content creator. Arsenal's the big one. Arsenal fans are mad into their streamers and into all that sort of shit. And you can see through the ones. It seems to me that because my missus was saying that she was watching when I was on Dan's, I think she said it feels like the ones on my side, like Aaron and DJB and Normsky and so it's like the others seem insane. And I said, yeah, they do, because the user making all these points and they're just repeating the same thing over and over again and the same ridiculous things like the injuries aren't his fault and stuff like that. But of course, they probably think to say that's a view says that they must view us the same way. But I don't know. Can they believe what they say? Sometimes I think they do.
I think it's more influence than anything, mate. Because we've had this similar situation at West Ham with things, and I've called them out. I've sort of haven't named them on the channel, but I've sort of dug at them, and they know that I'm having a go. Where people are in the game for influence rather than for the benefit of the club. Now, I'm not being funny. We all do our thing, right? You do Arsenal, I do West Ham. So, but we feel it. Like when I'm doing an afterthought straight after a game and West Ham just lost 4-0, I'm not sitting there and going to be smiling about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's some people that sort of sit there and who are too calm. Like, and I know everyone's different. Don't get me wrong. I understand that everyone takes defeats and takes losses in all different ways. Some people sort of let it die down, assess it, and then go again. Some people like myself will react instantly on how I feel, and I think that's the best way to be because it's raw emotion. And I do feel a lot of people will only go with the crowd when the crowd benefits them, if that makes sense, right? Whereas I can't go with the crowd. I have to go with what I feel, and if the crowd doesn't agree with me, then I'm not going to bow down to the crowd because that means I'm going against my own principles then, and that means I'm lying basically to myself. I can't do that. So definitely, I'll definitely agree with you, Shane. 100%.
It's about being able to look in the mirror, isn't it? It's about being able to look in the mirror and look at your kids and not feel like a piece of shit. Because the thing is, and you touched on it there, Arsenal, sometimes because I'm doing streams with people that talk sense like DJB and Aaron and yourself and Normsky and people I've mentioned, Lee and people like that, sometimes you think, okay, right, the worm is turning and people are getting it. But then you go through YouTube and you just see this relentless, AFTV put up that Sesko could be the new Anelka, and you're like, come on, man. I mean, to even make that, but it's stuff like that just makes you, and then you see stuff like that and you go, you know what, we're not making, so we're the minority. But the thing is that, like Arsenal, all clubs will have a team of people hired that scour the internet and go, okay, 90% of people are behind this manager because of the bigger ones saying that everything's fine and everybody's. So that's my biggest grievance with them is that this is my club, man. I would give anything for them to be back again, to be winning. And it kills me when I see that the level is being dropped so much and we're just considered a middle of the road team. And that's never been with Arsenal. Yes, we like Jezza says, through history when we've won leagues, we never really capitalize on it. We never win 3 or 4 in a row, except back in the 20s and 30s we had a stage. But you know, the way it's just being dropped so much, and it's because of these people, man. Like misery sells, you know what I mean? Misery sells. So when we're in a bad way, they're much more popular because they're offering hope to people, and especially in the modern world, people need to be told that everything's fine all the time. People don't like being told that.
Completely agree with you on that.
It's Arsenal fan base; they need it.
Fake
Everybody's
positivity.
so soft, man. It's fake positivity, and it's everything's fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. You did this to several people, but you know it's not your fault. It's your anxiety, or it's this, it's that. Nothing's your fault. So they just want to go in and be told that everything's fine. Where I just want people to tell me straight to the face what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what people need. They need everything to be soft for them. And these people get off on it because the people are going in and they make them feel good and they're getting clicks and likes, and it's the same thing. They put up thumbnails with Gyokeres is signed, and
I had that earlier on. Funny enough, I put like a little TikTok up on TikTok channel of me sort of going through the Sullivan thing that I'd done earlier. I put it up on E20 and all, and the geezer commented and said, "Oh, I think you should wait, mate, until and see what happens." And I said, "I think you should have a look at our owner." Right, and he sort of come back at me backwards and forwards, and I was like, "Mate, you're like nothing's going to change if you've got an attitude like that. Oh, let's just wait and see. Let's just bury our head in the sand and not worry about nothing." Do you know what I'm saying? And I just don't get it with people. I think it's just the way of the world. I think people are don't like to scared to offend. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, you know, like I can sit here and I can have an open discussion and like Aaron might say something that I don't agree with, but I'm not going to go mad at him. Do you know what I'm saying? You can have a conversation about it. It just feels like everyone wants to be like fake positivity and everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows when you've experienced it, and you boys will know it from an Arsenal point of view. I know it from a West Ham point of view. When you've experienced something and you've seen it in the past and you've seen it drop, like especially like DJB and maybe you, Shane, yeah, and even Norms to a point where you've seen it over the years and you've seen different generations, different standards, and you're looking at this standard, I don't want to be rude, but you've got more experience than the people that are fucking 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they should be respecting your opinion rather than criticizing your opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? But,
a lot of these fans have never seen a league title. That's the thing as well. They don't know what success is. They think a couple of FA Cups is success. Yeah, so I'm not going to knock the FA Cup. I love that competition, but they haven't seen league success. But when they're seeing second, all they've seen is fifths and fourths under Wenger and then falling out of it. So when they're seeing second places and that, they're all giddy. They think it's success, but success has never been second place. Maybe it is in your Olympics, but we're not in the Olympics. This is Premier League. You only get one trophy, and that's if you finish first. It's as simple as that.
And I think the bigger picture with this manager as well, though, is that you can see the long-term damage that every season that goes by, we then fall behind like 2 or 3 seasons. It's the long-term damage this manager's going to leave.
Yeah,
you know. Because you're going to have players on astronomical wages, you're going to have players on that we won't be able to move on. You know, you're going to have assets that are good, going to be leaving the club because eventually Saka will go if there's no trophies coming in. He's not going to want a Harry Kane situation like he did at Tottenham. Saka will eventually want to go. Saliba will want to go. Timber will want to go. Rice will probably want to go, and this is what I'm saying, and this is why when me and Shane said we got loads of abuse when we said, "Oh, what you win the Champions League? No other Arsenal manager's ever done it, and you still want him gone?" Yeah, because that would be his then pass for the next 5 years.
Yeah, longer even.
So for one Champions League, you'll have 10 years of absolute mayhem at Arsenal. You'll have another, you know what I mean? You'll have a trophy drought. You'll have players all over the place. You'll be watching football that's deteriorating. You'll be watching players that have fallen off the end of a cliff. I mean, there's no one really improved under this manager. I mean, people say to me, Saka's improved. No, he hasn't. No. Saka should be at that next level now.
Yeah.
Saka should be in that next bracket. Saka should be in that sort of world-class bracket.
Yeah.
Saliba, people say to me, "Oh, yeah, but he's improved Saliba." No, he hasn't. If you look at Saliba towards the end of the season, he actually got worse.
And that season
Oh,
at Marseille, he was
You know?
unreal as well.
He actually got worse. He actually got worse. I'm talking about players that you need to actually coach, right?
Yeah.
Under this man. Martinelli's the sort of player that needs a lot of coaching.
Trossard.
Got worse. Trossard, he's another player that needs a lot of coaching. Got worse. Jesus needed a lot of coaching. Hasn't really materialised. Zinchenko is left out at left back. Now, I feel actually sorry for Zinchenko. I think if Zinchenko had have had a good run in midfield, a really good run in midfield, on a regular basis, I think you might have seen a different player there.
100%.
You might have seen a different player there. Because when Zinchenko did come into midfield, no one can tell me he had a bad game. No one can tell me he had a bad game. He looked okay.
Plays there for Ukraine,
okay, you know.
Yeah.
And
Where's number 10 from?
When you watch, when you see Ukraine play, and after the game, Zinchenko's the first name that comes out and says, "Oh yeah, 8 out of 10." And this is what I'm saying. But he's not played him. He's not played him there. So he's sort of left. He's hung him out to dry left back. And on his head, Zinchenko. Does he like playing left back for Arsenal? Probably not. And this is the problem with his football manager, and it's the long-term damage this manager's going to cause. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. I can't believe he's going into another season. I still can't get my head around it. Can't get my head around it. This guy's fouled on all levels, and he gets another season. He gets another crack at it.
But that's sort of what I said as well, boys. It's madness when you sit there and think, what's the name? Ange under Spurs. They won the Europa League and then sacked him. Arsenal Football Club kept Arteta in the job after he lost to Olympiacos, didn't qualify for it, lost to Sporting Lisbon, and then lost to Emery's Villarreal. And he still keeps the job.
Still
after he exits that very competition 3 times and then don't even qualify for it, and we keep him.
I mean, the Bayern Munich in the Champions League to me was sackable as well. I mean, that Bayern Munich weren't a really.
Oh yeah.
They weren't really a good team, and that was absolutely dreadful. Again, that was just shocking performance. Really was.
Pathetic. Like borderline pathetic, wasn't it? Like what we're doing here. Yeah, Tone Jez, I've sent you a link in the chat on Insta. So if you fancy jumping on for a little bit, you're more than welcome, of course. Shane, I don't know if you wanted to bounce now or have a final little say, because I know you said you're always a bit busy in the mornings and all that, ain't you? So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm up 20 past 6 every morning. I'm living up in the mountains. Got to get up early to get them to school. But they'll be finished school in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, no, I'll wrap it up now. So I'll let you continue on. But obviously, man, absolute pleasure coming on Mondays. It's my favourite stream to do.
Come on, brother.
Love coming on with the legends like yourself and DJB and
come on, my man,
Normsky and everybody that comes on. It's amazing. But yeah, man, I'm gonna try and get some sleep now. But yeah, big up for having me on. And I will, of course, be back tomorrow morning for the full Irish breakfast. I'm sure I'll have Sock Sniffer in, give me shit again tomorrow. But your chap's always in me, chap. He's always in me, chap.
Do you know, it's probably his little wank sock that he sniffs and all, isn't it?
Yeah.
The crispy
but that's
wank
the thing,
sock.
man. If you don't have a few detractors in, mate, you know what I mean, then you're not making waves. You know, so that's what it's all about. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning. And
big up, Shane. 100. Keep it real, bro. Keep it real.
Yeah, always, man. Always.
Yeah,
big up everybody.
Take care, man.
Shane.
Talk to you later, people.
All right, later.
Big up, man.
What a legend, man. Yeah, we love a bit, Shannon. Go and follow him. His link, just like James's now, I've added. Everyone's link is pinned in the chat. So please do me this favour. Smash the like on this stream as well. That means the absolute world. And go and subscribe to all of these geezers, man. They put out some absolutely fantastic content. Even if you're not a West Ham fan, you're not going to find a West Ham fan that speaks any more real than this gentleman down here. I can promise you that. He speaks absolute facts. He's got knowledge 100%. About football. You've heard him for the last fucking hour. Do you know what I mean? There you go. Proof's in the pudding. So yeah, make sure you head over there and give James a sub as well, man. And it's back to the annoying thing about Arsenal. Someone actually had a little comment here, which is very frustrating because I see this as well, and it's big up to Tony. Nico Williams going elsewhere, and I see that he's had his art set on Barcelona
have
for a long time.
Have we really been linked with this guy? Seriously,
have we really been thing with anyone? This is just another one of them sagas.
It's Nico Williams. It's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. I don't want him. He's not good enough. He's totally not good enough for Arsenal, Nico Williams. 100%.
I mean,
if he is going elsewhere, then good riddance.
I'd drive him to Barcelona myself. So.
Yeah. I mean, we can't even sort a striker out, let alone Nico Williams. It's just ridiculous. You're going off the name, aren't you? Nico Williams.
There's too many targets at the moment that are going to sort of kind of be neglected because of the whole thing of Sesko and the Sesko saga and Gyokeres saga. Until that gets sorted out, you might put those on the back burner. It looks like it's going to happen. And just hope and pray, because according to the guy who said that nothing gets done until the 1st of July because of obviously PSR rules. So evidently then everything should land on the 1st of July, and we'll be coming on Aaron's stream and getting our champagne bottles out and
champagne.
Yeah. We will have the bottle of Lambrini at the ready. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a classy girl, you see. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be having a big old bottle of Lambrini, getting ready for all of them signings to come in.
Tesco's finest, Darren. You know what I mean?
150, yeah. Tesco's finest, mate. £3 a bottle and all of that.
Exactly. According to Nico Williams, apparently he's focused on a move to Barcelona. He's told everyone that he wants to go to Barcelona. So.
And let him go there.
What my thing is, and this is my issue with the left wing. We've known for a long time at Arsenal Football Club that we've needed a left winger, and we know that because 2 years and a half years ago, in Martinelli's actual only good season under Mikel Arteta, guess what? We tried signing Mudryk.
Yeah.
So that's inarguable. We've needed a left winger for ages. We got Trossard. We always knew that weren't going to be a long-term thing anyway. But we've needed a left winger for ages. And if it's not going to be, I've never believed it was going to be William. Never believed it was going to be William. Sorry, never. And I don't reckon he'll offer any different than Martinelli does. I reckon he'll look good. He'll probably nutmeg a couple of players, but when it gets to going in the box, he'll sky it or he'll misplace a drag back pass.
Exactly the same.
That's just facts. So who else do we get? Because I don't think we get Rodrigo. I don't think this club's got the ambition. Even if Rodrigo comes on the market, I just don't think this club has it in them to go, do you know what? We're going to go get him. We're going to do a Barcelona and Alexis Sanchez and get that geezer. And I don't see it. So who do we get? Do you know what I mean? We can't even decide which two strikers we want. And we've been after that for 2.5 years. But it's just a copy and paste with a left winger. Just literally a copy. But Arsenal Football Club ain't got a fucking clue what they're doing. They don't know whether they're coming or going. They don't know their arse from their elbows. It's frustrating. I'll bring Tone in as well from outside looking in. Come on, man. It's a bit of a shambles going on here. And people say, "Oh, it's only the 17th." Don't matter. It's not only the 17th for Liverpool and Liverpool and Man City, is it?
All I can say is it's for a West Ham fan and James can relate to this and that. This is quite refreshing actually hearing this for a change from the other side, not our side, basically. You know what I mean? I mean, I see a comment.
Reveling in the pain. Thanks, Tone.
Never me, mate. You know that. I never kind of revel in Arsenal's pain. What the hell was Zubi-Doo? What's happening with him?
We've got to wait for the 1st of July, apparently.
Oh, sorry, it's my bad.
1st of July, then installments, car payments, yeah?
Yeah. 1st of July, then we've got 400 million's worth of talent coming in the door, according to the Top Gooners.
You got the double-decker bus coming in, yeah, with all the signings.
Yeah, mate. All the world-class players that we were promised, all the players that we're linked to, there's a double-decker bus coming. Do you know what I mean? Full of them.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, big up Hammers Football TV anyway. But with the Zubimendi, that has got to be the biggest, unbelievable merry-go-round ever. This guy was signed, sealed, delivered in February. Right? When we failed to do the right thing in January, Zubimendi was announced in February. How convenient, right? Oh, and it was just all the streams was, oh yeah, Zubimendi this, Zubimendi that, contracts, everything. Yeah, it's a definite. Yeah, it's a definite. So if it was a definite back in February, why on the 1st of June wasn't we parading him at the Emirates? And then he was told that he was going to have a medical, and the guy's walking along the beach saying, I'm not even in London. And now it's all gone quiet again. When last week we was told, oh, it is a definite signing. No, we've definitely got Zubimendi, but now we're waiting for July. Well, Liverpool didn't have to wait for July with Wirtz. Man City ain't had to wait for July with Cherky and all of these people. But we've got to wait till July, apparently. What's it? Only Arsenal got to wait till July. So the window's open for every club apart from Arsenal.
Well, big up to you as well, DJB. But put it this way, yeah. At least Peter Odemwingie had the decency to actually drive down and go to the gates of the club. Before, at least he had the decency to do that. This fella, as you said, he was on the beach.
Yeah. It's absolute madness. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy, isn't it? And meanwhile, Man United can be linked with Cunha and in 2 weeks sign him. You know what I mean?
And in Bamano.
Yeah.
Number one.
Spurs now are linked with three players. I bet you Spurs end up signing players before we do.
Facts.
Be here for that, people. Be here for that.
I know it was a release clause as well, but Chelsea wanted Liam Delap and just done the deal. They didn't go, oh, we need to do it. We'll give you 35 million, so we'll have it in installments. They just paid it. There you go. We want him. He's ours.
Yeah.
Like Arsenal Football Club, we're getting left behind with that. We're getting absolutely left behind.
When did we hear Florian Wirtz? When did we start hearing the Florian Wirtz links for Liverpool?
Only sort of
3 weeks ago. Got to be.
Yeah.
And
started getting a bit serious, didn't it? There or thereabouts.
Yeah, lining them up for his medical.
Record signing, by the way. Yeah, British record signing, and they get it done within weeks. We're linked with we're definite signing from a player in February, and we still don't know if he's coming or going.
Mate,
when DJB says it, you have to. I just love. I understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? I just understand it.
It's frustrating.
It's laughable. You have to laugh, mate. It's an absolute circus. It really is.
The only Ormstein bomber that we got was telling us that we ain't got a fucking clue which striker we prefer, and it's going to take weeks to decide. That's just to choose which one we want. That's where Arsenal Football Club are at. We don't even know what one we want. It's ridiculous.
That's the thing that I can understand what would piss any Arsenal fan off, knowing full well that you've been crying out for a striker for ages and you haven't even made your mind up which one you want. And, you could end up having two, and then before you know where you are, you got none. Because if someone comes in and starts dropping money in there, just for argument's sake, say Chelsea say, you know what, we're going to go for another fucking striker. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll take one of them off your hands.
Could easily happen.
What could happen in the situation is if one of them goes, then Arsenal are backed firmly into a corner then, because the other one's price is going to go up.
And then we end up paying out through the nose. Yeah, we end up paying high wages.
The wages go up. Yeah.
Further down the road, we can't sell them.
Yeah,
that's why we have this problem when it comes to transfers, because you can't get rid of a.
The trouble is as well, right, Normski and everyone. The trouble is as well, clubs have got wiser to Arsenal the way we do business. They're not stupid. They know that they can pull us over the brick wall. Do you know what I mean? They're just rubbing their hands together. When this Sesko now, the club's rubbing their hands together, they're going to go, right, they're going to draw it out. Oh, we'll up the price another 10 million. Yeah. The agent's rubbing his hands together. He knows he's going to get 250 grand a week wages out of him. It's laughable. It's absolute madness. It really is. Crazy.
You're right with it. I mean, the players, as you said, they have clocked on to that as well. Look at what's his name, Willian, because Chelsea didn't give him a 3-year contract. Hughes did.
Yeah, exactly.
What a waste of time that was.
Absolutely. Look
and
at Sterling.
The next one, and they say Sterling the other one.
Yeah.
That was one of only 6 forward signings that we've made. Do you know we've only spent a Nicolas Pepe amount on forward players since Mikel Arteta's got here? Have a little look at this. We shared this, I think, last Monday. This is absolutely baffling for those who ain't seen it. Baffling, mate. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this up. Give me 1, 2, 3. There we go. Have a little look at that. All the way down. That doesn't say 20, by the way. That says 60.
Fucking hell, we're 13 tons.
Oh, no, I was going to say, hold on, is that us?
€80 million, 72 million quid. We have
Look at
spent
that.
since 2020 on forward players. We're 60th in Europe for money spent on forwards. If that don't tell you where the problem lies, why we're not signing anything, and it's not as if, like I said, I'd even accept the other side of the fence's arguments and debates when there's, if he was only here for 2 years and he went, well, to be fair, you know, the defence was a disaster. You know, yeah, we have neglected a little bit, but after 2 years, I could probably at least just maybe go, okay, I kind of get where you're coming from. Still not happy about it though. This is after 5 years. 5 years. There's no excuses for time.
What
You
are
can't
the?
go.
What do you know who the 6 are there, Aaron? Or not?
Yeah. One of them will probably be Marquinhos. One of them will be Willian. One of them will be Gabriel Jesus. Probably most likely no. Would they have included Havertz? No, they wouldn't have included Havertz in next. That'd be over 80 million. So it's Jesus, Martinelli. Trossard. Sorry, Jesus, Trossard, Marquinhos, Willian. Did I say Jesus?
Lacazette and
No. This is the Arteta stuff. I'm trying to think now.
Okay.
Probably Sterling might even be in there as 6 as a loan. To be fair, I can't think of maybe the 6th
Or is
one
it a case of that?
head.
A few of them are loans also in there.
I think the Sterling one definitely. Yeah, Sterling's definitely one of them in there. 100. But either way, I mean, that's poor. That's so bad.
I'm just looking at that. I'm just looking at that league.
That's 60. That's like £70 million spent on strike since 2020. Let's deep that.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Florian Wirtz comes in Liverpool, 127 million.
There's been 10, 12 fucking transfer windows. 72 million quid.
I'm looking at Stad Rennes and fucking Leeds.
Yeah. Leeds spent 3 times the amount more than we have.
That's the only time West Ham. That's the only time West Ham will ever be above Arsenal. Time. You might as well enjoy it, son.
Take a picture there, mate.
I'll clip that. That's clipped. You know what I mean, but it's what it is. But that's bad, mate. That's actually quite bad.
Yeah.
When you look at it in black and white, that's a major problem. I don't know why. Like, why do you think that is then?
He's just neglected it. Do you know? One of the things is obviously he's had Aubameyang in for about 2 years of that signings and Lacazette as well. And of course, you know, he's had the Eddie Nketiahs in there. He's been pissing around with. You know, he's had a Balogun where he didn't really know what to do with him over a year. So he's far-arsed around with these players. He wasted a year thinking that Eddie Nketiah might bang, and he didn't. Like, that's another year. Obviously, then Aubameyang, he killed a year of his career. Lacazette never really got so much out of him. Done the same with Pepe. How mad is this? That whilst he didn't sign him, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Nicolas Pepe cost Arsenal between, I think, 160, 180 million pounds, and we sold all of them for free. Like, ridiculous. He got rid of all of them. Arteta got rid of all of them and didn't receive a penny back from him. That's ridiculous. So when now we're saying, the last 2 years, I reckon the fact that he was so far ahead in the league when we was playing well, smashing teams, and then he bottled it because guess what? Saliba got injured, and then guess what? That was 2.5 years ago, and we still ain't even signed a right-sided centre-back, so we don't learn. I digress. He's probably concentrated so much on locking that team up. He's concentrated on the defence and the defensive side of the midfield and just totally neglected it in fear of, you know what I mean? That's why Arsenal play shit football, because like you said earlier, James, when you came in, we're petrified. If we go 1-0 up, he's petrified of getting a second. If we're stalemate in a game or 1-0 down, we haven't got no tools or know-how to go forward, no players to have that magic moment. So when Bukayo Saka's injured, we've got no fucking match winner left. It's as fucking simple as that. We've got no match winner. So that's what's happened. I reckon he's just concentrated so badly on that defence. The attack has just been massively neglected. And, you know, it's frustrating that, you know, there is actually a realistic scenario in which Arsenal still don't even get a winger and a fucking striker. We actually need 2 wingers and a striker, minimum. We still need backup for Bukayo Saka. We still need that. Why can't we learn? Look what happened to him last season. We got injured Bukayo Saka and had no one to fill him in.
You say
we need a winger?
And where is the backup though for him, or not?
No, he's outed him. He's outed him. I mean, when he should have got minutes pretty much towards the back end of the season. He played him when he was desperate to play him because of injuries.
Mm.
but then he hasn't played him since. And the reason why he hasn't played him is because he's a bit lazy off the ball. But that ain't his thing. If he's lazy off the ball, make him a good player when he's got the ball, because he's exciting when he's got the ball. He's dangerous when he's got the ball.
Well, considering the reason why you got Arteta in the first place, he's supposed to be this exciting coach that's supposed to coach kids and all this kind of stuff.
No, he can't do it.
Why is he not doing it with him?
All these kids have come through by default. Skelly would never have got discovered under this football manager if it weren't for injuries. If Calafiori and Zinchenko weren't injured, and Tomiyasu, Skelly would never. You would never have seen Skelly now.
Facts.
Never.
He stumbles into him, didn't he, D? He stumbles into it. Look at this central attacking midfielder role, that currently is occupied by Odegaard. Odegaard is the most subbed captain in the Premier League in the last 3 years. He's also one of the most, if not the most, subbed Arsenal player in the last 2-3 years. And we've got a 10 when Ethan Nwaneri on the bench, and he don't even bring him on for him. He brings on a defender, even when we're needing to score a goal to turn a draw into a win or a loss into a draw. He still doesn't bring on.
I've got a feeling.
It's
I've got a
ridiculous.
feeling when Arsenal do start signing some players, whenever that is, July the 1st, by the sounds of it, I've got a feeling that they might let that youngster go out on loan, you know?
Yeah, I've said that all along. I could see Nwaneri being another Emil Smith Rowe at this football club.
Yeah, I was just thinking about him.
Said that all the time.
Wouldn't surprise me he goes to someone like Fulham.
I'll be honest with you, and if West Ham had their go and get him. Go and get Nwaneri on loan. Put a loan request in for him, I'm telling you, and you'll get him.
Was he right-sided?
Really
exciting. He's kind of more of a central, more attacking midfielder as opposed to, because the thing is, when we had the situation with Saka and obviously with Odegaard out, he didn't play him once. He literally waited until Saka got injured, and then he played him on the right side. But he's, obviously he comes in on his left, but he plays more central. And we've been shout from the time Odegaard got injured. We said, bring him in. Everyone said, bring him in. But we saw what he did on pre-season. But the Arteta is just like, and then the way he treated him towards the end of the season, you know what I mean? Didn't give him many minutes, you know what I mean? You saw his face when he come on. Literally 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here. What are you doing?
Mate, it's disgusting.
The thing with Arteta, though, Nomsky, and you've seen it yourselves, once you fall out of flavour with him, I think DJ mentioned it, that's it. You're totally done. You're done. Yeah. Simple as that. And that's a waste of exceptional talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've just seen Tony just quickly. Tony at Hammers Football TV, the link there's in the chat. He's 23 away from hitting 1,000.
Come on.
People, the link's in there, man. Come on, there's 110 of us in the building. Let's get this geezer either to that 1K or as close as we can, man.
Get him to the 1K and Arteta will be sacked tonight, lads.
I promise.
You've probably got a 10K.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? It's true. If we was all Arteta in and gassing up Arteta and worship the ground he walked on, our subs, mine, Nortsky and Aaron's subs would be probably triple what they are now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, Lee always says it, doesn't he? You're proppering off of negativity. It's not, because if we were to turn around the other way, my channel would probably have 2 or 3 more amount of subs 3 times easily. Even if I went, it's all well and good at Arsenal. Look how good they're doing. Everyone just in this society of people, and especially the younger generation, they all need to be told that everything's going to be okay. Like what James said earlier, like we always say, they just need to be just reassured constantly. Everything's going good. Don't worry about it. Pat on the back. The reality is it ain't. And people just don't like being told something that goes against the grain or goes against their beliefs, because we shatter some worldviews here. That's what I always try and do. I always try and show people with facts, and I bring things like this into statistics rather on the screen, because people don't listen with their ears anymore. They listen with their eyes. And sometimes people let this and they take it through and they go, shit. Actually,
what's the excuses, Aaron, that they use for that, though? Because I'm going to be honest, I've looked at that.
He didn't have the money. James, I had this and I was arguing with Christian on Dan Potts' show, and he said, we haven't had the money. We haven't had the money. Last summer we didn't have the money. I said, no. I was like, last summer he had £80 million. in terms of the Victor Gyokeres deal. And what he done was he signed a fucking shit left back in Calafiori and chose to sign Marino instead. He could have signed Victor Gyokeres over them two. So don't give me that. He could have signed anyone. Could have signed anyone for 80 million in that valuation. Could have signed Sesko.
Ivan Toney, 40 million.
That's what they say. Ivan Toney, 40 million pounds. Stall off. There's loads of Dovbik. There's loads of strikers that we could have got in there. Do you know what I mean? Even Morata would have done a job. I'm not saying it'd have been a long-term thing, but anyone, any striker as a back, we've signed no one. No one. But that's what they say. Oh, there ain't been money available. Is that there has been money available? We just chose to fucking spend it wrong.
Yeah. Right. And the narrative is that the ball don't back him. What are you talking about? 750 million. You're telling me the ball doesn't back? He's the most backed manager. Yeah, he's the most backed manager.
They've already spun the narrative, haven't they, Normski? Because if we don't get Sesko and Gyokeres over the line, they'll blame Berta.
Well, that's what's happening now.
It's already teed up.
It's like, do you know what? Hearing this, right? It's like a smear campaign already, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just ready to rock and roll, basically. Same thing is happening at West Ham. Same, like, literal, what you're saying on that side is the same thing on our side. Is, well, currently trying to understand this, but our sort of scout, Macaulay, basically, people are saying it's his fault that we ain't signed no players. But it's the owner who's telling everyone that we've got to sell players before we can buy. That's why we're trying to literally give away Mohamed Kudus at the minute. And listen, what you said earlier on makes you 100% right. These clubs ain't fucking stupid. They're going to wait, mate. They're going to sit there and go, you know what? They need the dough. But we're not going to sit there and give them 60 million or 70 million. We're going to get him for 45 or maybe 50 at best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, mate, these people that keep smearing it, like these smear campaigns to try and I don't know what they're trying to do, really. Well, I do, but they're trying to for their own narrative, isn't it? That's what
they're trying. The problem is right. The hierarchy for our fan base, the hierarchy, they're quiet. They're not outspoken like your owners. Our owners, we call him Silent Stan. We don't know that because they don't say much. You know what I mean? Josh every now comes out and goes, "Let's be excited." You know what I mean? Doing all that rubbish. Right? Yeah, we end up getting Nicolas Pepe and then selling for what, 3 million quid. 72 million we paid for that.
72 million, isn't it? 72.
Yeah, we sold it for 3 million. Right?
We bought Sebastian Haller, sold him. Skamaka sold him for £1.
At least you're spending money. Okay, at least you're spending money on the attackers. We're not. We're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the proof. How would you feel though if Stan said, "Right, I'm on transfers now, lads," right? Because Sullivan's on transfers at the minute, and we're all shitting it.
We had it the other week though. We had it the other week. Apparently, there was reports out, and the channels, the clickbait channels, were gassing it up that Gyokeres had met with our owners, Cronkies. What's an absolute load of garbage? Why would Cronkies pay all this money to Berta and appoint a sporting director with all his experience and turn around to him and go, "So I don't want you at this meeting. It's me that's going to meet Gyokeres. I'm going to do the deal. I'm the owner. Step aside." What's a load of crap? Honestly.
Don't worry, mate.
You couldn't write it, could you? Honest, you couldn't write it, mate. Honest.
Oh, mate, we could write a great comedy between us lot here, trust me. It would be fucking poetry, honestly.
And the trouble is, right, you've got the fan base, 80% of the fan base believes all this crap. Oh, did he? Did he meet with the Cronkies? Yeah, we're going to get Gyokeres. We're getting Gyokeres. It's all right. Cronkies are meeting him. Make it make sense, honestly. It's ridiculous.
Do you know what?
And there's channels with thousands of followers pumping this crap out.
And promote it, unfortunately,
Do you know what, right? I'm going to put this out there, yeah? This is a wild one. But it wouldn't surprise me if you end up with Jackson from Chelsea.
No, we'll end up with Antonio on loan just to give him a break. I feel sorry for him and sign Antonio.
We need to sign him first. Fucking players.
Honestly, you couldn't write it. You watch this. I'm telling you now, right? You can clip this. You watch us scrambling around like rats after food. Yeah. come the last day of the transfer window trying to make a signing. We will. And we'll end up with someone on loan. It'll be a loan deal or something like that. And it will be scrambling around trying to make that last minute signing. We'll have all the season, all the window, and you watch us.
Getting Benayoun's in again.
It'll all be panicking, like we did Yossi Benayoun and all these players years ago. Do you know what I mean? It'll be exactly the same.
The narrative sounds familiar, James, didn't it?
It does, but it just feel it the way you just saying it, and how we see it from West Ham side. Sullivan's just picking the players, like, and we've got an actual proper scout.
Yeah, I think with West Ham, though, I mean, the owners have been the problem for many, many years, haven't they? And they've gone after managers. The fan base have blamed players. They've blamed managers. They housed Moyes, but really the nitty gritty has been your owners, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. The thing is with the Moyes thing, and I always said it at the time, I said you can get Moyes out the door, but you can't ever trust this owner, mate. That's the problem, and it all goes back to that. And I understand what you were saying. With us, though, and this is the difference, we're never too good not to go down. And we're in a situation this year, if we don't get this right, we're going down. And people say, oh, no, you won't go down. We can't rely on Jared Bowen for 38 fucking games to be fit.
What's the petition you was all... what's the petition apparently you was meant to be signing as well about the funds and...
Oh, as to do with the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, listen, one of the boys, Nick... You know, Nick is DJB. He's been promoted on his channel. I mentioned it today. I've been mentioning it a few times. I've been basically sending people over to his channel just to fucking sign it. We've got to do something because we're running out of time. And we've got no money, right? I make this pretty short and sweet. We've got no money. We're ready to gaff. Why are we not going? Why have we got no money? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you're paying nothing for that stadium. Like, like $1 million or $2 million a year or something.
4 million. 4 million.
It's between 4 and 6 million every few years. Like it goes up.
Yeah, but apparently the Rush Green training ground now, they're demanding that they is it the rents or something or other or whatever.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's all falling apart, man. Mr. Sullivan's fucking ass, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can't wait for it to fall apart around him. The only problem is it affects all of us, though, as like me and Tony as West Ham fans, because we're going to have to pick up the damage after he fucks off. For me, I've always said this: you get rid of him, you bring an owner in, and if one thing that I think any football fan would agree on this, if you're straight and honest with the people, they can accept it.
Yeah,
it's when you start blagging it and talking a lot of old bollocks, and in the end we start seeing through the lies. That's when you start losing the fan base. I've been saying this for the last 18 months. Right, I said it when people kept wanting to get Moyes at the door. I said, yeah, you can get rid of Moyes, but remember, who owns our club. He's the geezer who's the real problem at our club. And for me, when you've got an owner in charge who buys cheap, he uses his own agents. He uses 2 agents, Salthouse and Silkman, and that's it. He's very calculated in what he does, and in the end, I think it's all going to start burning around him. And I think it's starting right now. Do you know what I mean? I've never been more scared, and Tony vouched for this. Tony's seen it on E20 with me, and some of the stuff I put on Twitter. I've never been more scared in my life to see West Ham get relegated next year. Never.
Really?
And that's no joke. It's not me being over the top. I'm being as calm as possible. I'm fucking worried. Never been more worried in my life.
Yeah. I've been speaking to a lot of West Ham fans are really concerned. They think that next season, if they don't get it right, they could go down because Leeds are quite strong, aren't they? The teams that have come up are stronger than what they were last year.
And the thing is, with them gaffs that we're going to be going to, Stadium Malaya, Ellen Road, Turf Moor, West Ham have bad form there and all.
Yeah.
So if you don't pick up results, and we can't rely on Jared Bowen all the fucking time.
No.
I actually feel sorry for him. Well, I really do.
Are you going to keep him though? Are you going to keep him?
Do you know what, mate? Someone asked me this today, funny enough. They said, James, what do you reckon on Bowen if a bid come in? I said, if a bid come in of, say, 80 million or up for Bowen, are you telling me Sullivan won't think about it?
Of course he will.
Yeah.
Bite their hand off.
I actually think it's acid stripping, though, DJB. if you want me to be honest. And I've called this for 18 months, bit by bit. Take a player out, take a player out. Kudus will be the next one at the door. Right, you will see it in the next few weeks. Kudus will be gone, and then it'll be someone else. And then basically, from a team 2 years ago when we was in Prague, and we had Paqueta on top form, Deck obviously reviews, Bowen. We had a pretty good defence at the time. So now basically we've only got one really good player, and that's Bowen. That's worrying, mate. Honestly, and I can see it happening.
So I've been saying about Bowen. I mean, everyone's going on about Sesko and Gyokeres and everything else. I'd love him
for a while, D. Yeah.
I'd like you can play him in the middle. You can play him as a 10. You can play him on the right. Honestly, play him on the right.
On the left.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
On the left.
Forever,
Brilliant for Arsenal. He would.
Yeah. I actually agree. Bowen's a baller. Exactly right there, Richie. How much would he cost? What would he set you back, Bowen?
I think James on the end he said about 80 to 100 million, probably. Around that.
How old is he though? How old is he?
27.
27, yeah.
27, 28, yeah. But what it is with him is where he's so connected to West Ham, like marrying into the family and everything.
Yeah.
But you know what? As fans now that I speak to, and Tone can probably vouch for this, I actually feel sorry for Bar deep down. I really do.
A lot of fans want him to better himself, don't they? They don't want him to see him.
Yeah. I mean, he's on a 7-year contract he signed as well. So he signed a long-term contract.
Yeah.
And also, like as James said, 2 years ago, and that we was riding on crest of a wave. We should have moved on, and James has said it on E20. This should have moved on to the next step. All it's done more than anything else now. We're seeing a tsunami in that and never recovered from it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And mentioning the asset stripping, not being funny, Sullivan and Gold did that with Birmingham before they sold up. So he's doing exactly the same thing. So if he is, pray to God, that he is on his way out, then he's going to rinse us to take every single penny, leave maybe one shekel beyond.
Have you got any potential candidates that could? Have you been linked with anybody in the past?
Been linked with a few American consortiums, one Qatari. There was someone else, but the problem is with it is nothing Zaz. That's the real that's the $1 million problem.
They don't own nothing, do they? Right, they don't own nothing, nonce, do they?
And that's where he stitched us up, really. And the problem is that I've always said this on E20. I say it quite fucking passionately all the time. Like some of my videos, especially one I done the other today. Funny enough, I really let loose on it. He stitched up. Well, it's just standard, isn't it, mate? Fucking West Ham fucking therapy, Tony. But the problem is he stitched up the fan base, and he's lost. What it is, he's lost 29,000 fans, hardcore West Ham fans, who all walked away. That's a lot. Right, that is. And someone told me this a long time ago, and it always stuck with me. And I always mention it on E20 all the time. And I'll mention this to anyone. Any football fan around the world, who supports their club. The moment your club feels like that you're going to an event, that's bad, right? That's the beginning of the end. One thing I don't want to see ever happen to West Ham, though, is that they turn up at the London Stadium and there's a ground full of football fans, but no supporters. So you've got all the supporters have gone, and all it is football fans watching a game of football. And that is what's happening at West Ham in a minute. A lot of people are walking away in thousands because they've said enough, not renewing season tickets, literally trying anything they can. And the bubble's about to burst, mate. I don't want to like to use the pun, but it is like the bubble is it's getting close to going imploding inside. And the thing is with us, if we go down, we're fucked.
Yeah, such a shame.
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah. I'll be gutted to see you boys go down. I don't think you will, but I would, obviously, because you know what I mean. I've got ties. My old man's a West Ham fan. I want them to obviously do well, not against Arsenal, but you seem to do pretty well at the Emirates. But yeah,
can we play you 38 games at Emirates?
I know. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? We'd be the ones going down, wouldn't we?
Yeah, but do you know what it is? It's just I don't know what it is. I don't know about you, Time, but I've never been more concerned. Like I've seen West Ham go down in 2003. I see West Ham go down in 2011. What we've discussed tonight, I can see it from the Arsenal side on your stuff, but the generations don't understand. Like West Ham generation, they've never experienced currently right now what it feels like to go down. I never want to feel that feeling of 2003. I think 2011 I can sort of accept because we were shit under Grant and it was just fucking, we was no good. But in 2003 when we went down, I've never felt more heartbroken in my life when you see all your players start to disappear. Like, and not just that, good players who went on to win cups and leagues,
etc.
Carrick, Cole, Defoe,
Well,
Canute.
you had some players.
Yeah.
Mostly all homegrown talent as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know what I mean? And that's
over
the worst
years,
part about
man. The Rios, Lampards, and all of that coming through. You've had some phenomenal players coming through there at West Ham, and really, when you think about it.
But your fan base is also split with a manager. You ain't only got the owner to deal with. Your fan base is also split with Potter, aren't they?
I think people are turning now, though, DJ. If you want me to be honest, I think people are turning now and going, "What can Potter do?" What it is, the blame. When I say about smear campaign, people are going, "Oh, it's Potter, Potter." Maybe I was sucker for it last season, but now people are starting to look at it and go, "Well, what the fuck can Potter do if his hands are like that?" He's not a miracle worker. Do you know what I mean? And that goes back to the owner. The owner's got him in place that if it goes wrong, that's his fall guy. He's got it ready. Like, so he's like, someone come out and said something today. Like, obviously I mentioned it on here because like, usually not related to like West Ham, but basically people saying like, you got people playing both sides of the coin, like for like clicks and views and shit like that. And it sort of all come out today. And I was like, what are you trying to get at here? And thanks Shane said earlier, shout out to that man, right? He turned around and said that you got to look at it from being a fan and being a content creator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got to marry it all together. You can't like you've got to be like that. You can't be one or the other. Like, you're either a football fan and you feel it, or you're a content creator. And I feel a lot of these people, they do the content create because it earns that.
Yeah.
But and then they flip from side to side. And you can't do it. Just can't. And that's where it's dangerous.
Yeah. I think that's why I obviously respect and appreciate the panelists that we get on here, and especially the ones that I invite on, and obviously especially like yourselves, James, and even from another football club, is because I know I've watched enough of your content, added plenty of enough of our conversations with you to know, just like the rest of us here on this panel and in this chat, we're proper. We're football fans. We're not going to say we're Arsenal fans. We're all football fans, and I know I've watched your content after football games, James, of football matches, even before it, and you get frustrated. It hurts. You go on rants that aren't scripted. You're not going off of a little cue. You're going talking just straight out here, and I think that's why your channel's doing well, because people relate to someone that's not pulling the wool over their eyes. Do you know what I mean?
Experience, and I respect gentlemen with experience and ladies. Well, I'm going to be sexist. Right, so I expect people with experience. Like, I will never talk down to a fan who's been a fan of a club for 60 years or 50 years, because they're going to know more than me.
50.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's simple as that. Like, you know what I mean? Tone, when you have around 21, I've got to accept it.
Yeah.
But you know what it is, yeah. Because they've experienced more life choices. And I think what it is with the modern day fan is they see it through their own prism. They don't respect anyone else's opinion, and they don't check their history and go, "Oh, we've been down this road before." So it's dangerous. It's dangerous. If West Ham finish 17th next year, I'll be able to fucking moan, mate, at minute, and that's no joke.
Wow.
But if we can get out of there with 17th and fucking 40 points as fast as possible, I'll be able to moan.
But that's that. But what you've just said there is a shame, really, because if you go back a few years when you won the Conference Cup and all that, I thought West Ham had really started to turn the corner and become like an Aston Villa, if you like, or a Brighton, where you was challenging for that top 6, top 7 on a regular basis. And I think that's where you should have been now. But you've kind of really gone backwards, and it's such a shame to see it. It really is, because
the thing on that, DJ,
I'm brought up around a West Ham area.
Yes,
so.
I mean, I'll answer that because basically James has said it many times, and for me, when Moyes' last season, you could already tell that he was already told he weren't going to be renewed. Yeah, you could tell that straight away, because there's a difference in Moyes' attitude, his body style. It was just starting to shine through. No. And then it's suddenly the case of, oh no, we've given him a contract, but we've ripped it up in front of him, and now we're not going to do it, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, okay, you're talking out your ass, because we knew that it was already started from the beginning, you know, and the writing was on the wall. And that's because Sullivan realised that, because we've done well, shit, I've got to spend more money now if I'm going to continue this. And it's a case of it don't work for me. So of course, there's only one person who's going to go, and it weren't going to be Sullivan.
No. I mean, winning that European Cup probably has done Sullivan more damage, because he was under pressure to go that one next level and strengthen and buy the players to maintain that and do better. And he's thought, hang on a minute, too much success here.
Someone told me the other day, DJB, I don't know how true it is, before that Norms, because I think Norms wants to go, yeah. Someone told me the other day, Sullivan hasn't invested none of his own money since 2014. Not one penny.
That's a long time, man. 11 years.
Yeah.
He's been backing it up, though.
And what it is now, the shit is firmly on the wall, so to speak, or firmly at the fan, where basically he's took loan after loan after loan out. The banks ain't going to give him no more loans because he's up shit's creek. He's sort of used, I don't know what it is with the training grounds, huh? I don't know if you know that, but I think it's more to do with he's added in stuff onto the training ground as an asset, and where he don't own the ground, it's just rented. And what I think you said it earlier on, right? The final piece is Bowen. Take Bowen out, that's it. Good night. And that is the end of us. And he will sail off into the sunset with a hefty fee, and then the new owner has to come in and pump loads of money in. Now, if someone said to me right now, right, you get rid of Bowen, then the new owner comes in, it'd be heartbreaking to see Bowen go, but I'd have to accept it, because I think we need someone who's going to come in with proper dough, but then PSR fucks you. So we're fucked either way. We can't spend. Look at Newcastle. Newcastle can only spend a certain amount of time each year, and the same thing applies to us. So you know.
I mean, on that one, James, talk to after one on your show, Aaron. Apparently, we've got to play Vlasic for Vlasic, and because if we don't do that, then we're in fear of being done by
PSR. Transfer ban. It's big.
Wow.
What it is, there was a transfer 4 years ago, and obviously when there was COVID and there was Russia and the Ukraine fighting each other at the start, the Premier League got involved and said, right, no payments to any Russian clubs. And obviously we sold Nikola Vlasic, Croatian sort of attacking midfielder, to CSKA in Moscow. Now it's gone full circle, and if we don't pay, I think it's 8.5 million, which tallies up to about 13.5 million, we get a transfer ban. And if we get a transfer ban, that means we can't sign no fucking player.
Wow.
Didn't know that. Honestly, mate, I ain't got the pressures anymore.
This is desperate right now.
Yeah.
We're just and we're worried that we ain't signing Sesko or Gyokeres.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, I came on the show first of all, and I was saying about how it's good to listen to you guys, and now we've flipped it around.
Yeah. Now I'm enjoying Tone's misery.
Yeah,
that's why you enjoyed it so much, Tone.
Now you know what it feels like, Aaron. Yeah. Now you know what it feels like.
Norms needs to shoot. Norms, big up to you for coming on, my friend.
Yeah, no problem,
always a pleasure. I enjoy your company on the Monday.
Tomorrow I'm on DJB's 5 o'clock, so looking forward to that with Kenny.
Big up, my friend.
So we'll be obviously going over the same thing.
Yeah, well, we got Kenny Ken and the
questions. What? Why? When is it going to all happen?
Well, we've got Kenny Ken and the Jez.
Let me know.
Jezza.
Seeing you again, mate.
Yeah,
man.
Big up, Normski.
Big up, Norms. We've got legend, mate. Legend, Norms.
Legend.
Love a bit of Normski. Love a bit of Normski. And people, Normski's link is pinned as well, just like everyone else's is. And don't forget, let me just put it back in there. Tony, he's only gone up by 2 or 3 subscribers. Come on. This needs to get a little bit more than that. Come on, people. There's still plenty of you in the building. Let's get this geezer as close to 1,000 as we can. This is obviously a question to you, West Ham boys, by Mr. Waffle, an absolute legend in the chat, by the way. He's always supporting all the Arsenal boys. He's quality. Do you think the worst thing West Ham did was move from Upton Park to the Olympic Stadium?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
100%, mate. If you used to ask, someone asked me this today, funny enough, would you swap the Conference League trophy, first one you've ever seen, James, to go back to Upton Park? I said, I'll go back to Upton Park tomorrow. That's deep. Do you know what I mean? I cried my soul out on that night when we won that trophy, mate. And I'm not even afraid to admit it.
No,
But
that's what it's all about, mate.
If someone said to me right now, you can go back to Upton Park, I'd go back there, mate, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I feel like the end is coming for Sullivan, right? And what he's going to do, he's going to destroy everything like he did at Birmingham. And we're going to have to suffer it. It's either going to go one or two ways. We're either going to get out scot-free, i.e. he's going to get rid of players, and it's going to go, we're going to get away with it and stay in the league maybe next season and maybe the season after. Or it goes bad, which I believe it could go bad. We go down and then we're going to be fucking fighting uphill to get back in there, mate. Because once you go down in these leagues, it's hard, right?
With the squad you've got, I can't believe we're talking about going down at West Ham, man.
It ain't no
some unbelievable players.
Aaron, there's so much, mate. Lucas Paqueta's on the verge of knowing whether he's going to be banned for life or not.
Yeah,
with gambling.
That's been a real bad thing for
Right.
you guys, isn't it? Because when he's on form, he's a fucking player.
And when you go through them all, bit by bit, yeah, you start picking away at them all. It's a lot. There's a lot there. Do you know what I mean? I generally do feel sorry for Graham Potter on this one. I think it's one of the biggest jobs he's ever going to likely to have now, because we all know, as West Ham fans, me and Tone, that when the tables do start to turn, he's the one who's going to be in the firing line, and Sullivan's going to get away with it again. I'm going to shout out to one person. I messaged him earlier on, the geezer who does Hammer's Chat on the West Ham side of it. A shout out to Gio. I messaged him earlier on. I said, well done, mate. I said, it's a brilliant video you've done, right? Earlier on, and you sort of digged out the main source of sort of West Ham, and that's a firm called Claret and Hugh, right? It's the thing it's been going around for years. You asked your old man, Aaron, he'll know who I'm talking about. And he basically sort of stuck it on him and said that, like, this smear campaign, and that you're keep trying to have your fall guys in place instead of having to go at the owner. And what it is with this Claret and Hugh, they work for Sullivan. And that's what it is. It all goes back to Sullivan, mate. And it's such a shame, mate. Such a shame. As I say, I've never been more scared there ever in my life, mate. Like, I was 15 years old when West Ham went down in 2003, right? And when 2011, we knew we was going down. Like, it was just obvious, right? Do you know what I'm saying? But even back in 2011, right? And I've got a memory like a fucking elephant. I'll never forget fuck all. Sullivan had a choice then to sack Avran Grant. He didn't. He let it go. Right, we was on the verge of getting Martin O'Neill. He got wind to the media. He goes, no, I'm going to keep fucking Grant. Grant sends us down. I think the same thing's happening here, mate, with Sully now. I'm being honest.
Mate, that's shit to hear proper football fan feel like that and talk like that.
That's why when I come into your chat, talk about Gyokeres, I feel like part of the crew.
Yeah. Misery together, innit?
The trouble is, though, when you're at the other end, the other end of the table and everything else, you know, I know it's different expectations and that, but I always say the Premiership split into three leagues. You've got your top end, you've got your middle teams, and then you've got the teams that are always kind of fluctuating and fighting to stay in the league and stuff like that. West Ham shouldn't be in that level. They should be kind of middle to above. They should be like a top 6, top 7 team as far as I'm concerned.
Top 10 for me, DJB.
I think they've been in the Premiership long enough now to sort of be a kind of Aston Villa, Brighton, that kind of team. Do you know what I mean?
When I look at Crystal Palace, DJB, they go and win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I look at their team, and their team's better than ours.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
And
other clubs wouldn't give Mateta a sniff 2 seasons ago. Would not even batter him an eyelid.
Walton in the middle of the park. It was signed from Blackburn. Great player. Guy, great player. Muniz, another one who they've picked up. Do you know what I mean? Eze, Elise, obviously Elise's left there. But, you know, when you look at them, and what you said earlier about from Prague to now, Prague was Prague was 2 years and 10 days ago. 10 days ago, it was 2 years to the day that West Ham won the trophy. And I look at us now, and I'm speaking to geezers in their 50s and 60s and saying, James, I don't recognise this club no more.
Yeah,
that is unbelievable. Like, do you know what I mean? When I'm seeing that, and Tony will probably vouch for this, like the amount of people that are just walking away, had enough, saying, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm not setting foot in there. I'm not giving the geezer me money. There's a lot of issues.
Shit.
29,000 now.
But this is how we're getting at Arsenal, and it's because it's because we want to win stuff. We want to win stuff because that's what we should be doing. I mean, we're gone without a league title now for too long.
Yeah.
You know, and I think what it is with Arsenal is when this manager came in, his PR and his speech and his way with words, the expectations that he kind of had, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is what we need. This is exactly what we need," and it's all kind of gone sort of down because he's not living up to those expectations. He's making lots of promises and he's saying the right things and he's facing the media and he's saying all the right things about signing this one and we're not going to stand still and don't settle for second best, and he's doing Netflix documentaries. And
was he overhyped though, DJB? Was his words overhyped in a way that made him think?
Well, in hindsight, looking at it now, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because when he first come in, I thought to myself, well, hang on a minute, young manager, ex-Arsenal player, although he was not, you know, he weren't pulling up any trees at Arsenal. But I thought, and then he won the FA Cup, and I'm thinking, okay, give him a bit of a chance. Then we had a season where we was playing some really good football, and then we were challenging. Then we were challenging for the league when we probably weren't expected to, even though we bottled it. We weren't probably expected to be there. And it was the way we kind of bottled that league. And I was looking at the way his tactics in games and big games. And I'm thinking, yeah, he's good on a day-to-day basis. But when it really comes to the big games, the nitty-gritties, the semi-finals, the ones that get you over the line, I'm not sure about this football manager, you know. And as the seasons have gone on, it's now proven. You know, there's so many occasions, and Aaron agrees, and this is why we do what we do. There is so many now examples in big games where he's been found wanting, and that's my criticism with this manager, right? My criticism. I want a manager that knows how to change things and tries different things. It's like the PSG game in the semi-final. We were going out. We were 1-0 down, and in PSG, we're going out. We need to score. We need a goal. We need to get back in the tie. So I'm thinking, just do something different. If we lose 3 or 4-0, I can accept that. I can accept that. Try and bamboozle the other coach. Try something different. You know, try putting Martinelli down the middle. Put Trossard out on the left. Bring Ranieri in. Move Saka in. You know, put Saka in the 10. Bring Ranieri out. Anything. Play 3 at the back. Anything. Do something that where the PSG's manager's gonna go, hang on a minute, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, hang on a minute. Now I've got to drop Dembele back. I've got to drop Vitinha back now because he's moved this one here. You know? And if he'd have done that and we'd have still lost, I'd have gone, well, at least he's tried. At least he's trying to do different things.
Yeah.
And we've seen it so many times. You're sitting over there at the Emirates, and I know how the game's going to go as soon as we kick off. As soon as we kick off, I know exactly how it's going to go. And all you do is see it going sideways, backwards. Odegaard gets the ball. He'll spin around a couple of times. He'll look up. He'll go out. He'll pass it to the left, or he'll pass it back. Saka's getting marked now. So Saka's normally got sort of 2-3 players doubling up on him. So he's being taken out of the game. So now we've lost our attacking threat. But then Saka's still got to track back and do the defensive work. I want to see Saka in the final third. I want to see him I want to see him more forward, where he's more dangerous.
What game would you say? There's one game that springs to mind. Funny enough, it was against West Ham.
Just quickly, Tone, you need to drop out. We'll carry on having another 5 or so minutes, but Tone, you need to shoot off, didn't you, my friend?
Oh, sorry, Tone. Big up, Tone. Nice
No worries, mate. No worries.
Take
Take chat.
Yeah, I'll sub to your channel, my friend. Take care.
Thank you, mate. And
Legend.
Good show, mate. And James,
up,
catch up with you soon.
Catch up with you
DJB,
soon, brother.
pleasure as always.
Yeah, big up, my friend.
People in the
Take
chat,
it easy.
thank you very much. Take care, all.
Legend. Go and sub to Tony, everyone. Whoa, let's zoom back out of that.
What there's one game that I remember where I thought, I don't think Arteta's the guy, was when you played us at ELS and you were 2-0 up, I think it was, and we drew 2-2 with you. Bowen scored and I think Saka missed the penalty.
Oh yeah, we should have buried you, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
And
we could have had the penalty for 3-1, didn't we? And then you come
and that
back.
was the season where you was actually
3-1, missed it.
leading.
Yeah.
I think you was winning well, not winning the league, but you was leading the league.
Yeah.
And basically that's when I went, I don't know whether Arteta's is the guy for them. Like,
we went to Liverpool a week later, 2-0 up there and dropped it to 2-1. And we were lucky.
Yeah.
We were lucky to escape that with a draw because I remember
So
Ramsdale
many
pulled off
games,
a
Aaron,
mega
haven't they?
save. Yeah, and then we fucked up against Southampton, I think, after that.
3-0, I think it was,
three on the bounce.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the games with. There's loads of games. There's the Liverpool one. There's the West Ham one.
What game springs to mind for you though, mate? Like, what game would you say? You know what? You thought, nah, this ain't right. There must be one sort of.
Do you know the one that done it for me? I mean, there's loads of them, but I'll give you one example. We had to go to the Tottenham London Stadium and get a result to get in the Champions League.
Yeah,
to get in the Champions League, and the performance was shocking. The players looked as if they'd seen a ghost. We looked like a rabbit in headlights. We didn't turn up. He didn't change it. The cameras was kept panning into him. He was clueless. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to change it. You could see by his body language he was all tensed and everything else. And we needed to win now, or at least a draw, because we had Newcastle away. So if we'd have drawn in, beat Newcastle away, I think we'd have finished fourth. So we had that performance there at Spurs, and we lost. And then we went to St James's Park and completely froze. Yeah. And I'm thinking he's going to change it here. And he played exactly the same system, exactly the same against Newcastle. Went out on a whimper, and I think we finished fifth, didn't we, that year, Aaron?
Yeah.
You remember them two games?
I do remember.
They're the two standout games for me.
Well.
And then the West Ham at home when we lost 2-0.
Yeah, that was
when we peppered your goal, and because people said to us the league was done against Villa. But I disagree. I still think we were still kind of had a chance. I think the league was done when West Ham beat us 2-0. When West Ham come to the Emirates last season.
Yeah, Christmas. Just after Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, just after Christmas. We lost 2-0. That was another performance.
Do you remember the Aston Villa 3-0? That done me under Dean. What's his name?
Yeah. When Watkins and the only man tracking him back was Emil Smith Rowe. Again, couldn't change it.
Bring it at home as well, like that.
Yeah.
You looked at it and you just thought, wow, this manager.
There's loads and loads of examples. And again, you will get with Arteta's Arsenal, you will get moments where you look at them and we look absolute world beaters. When we beat City 5-1, there was our play against Real Madrid was tactically pretty good, to be honest. I thought we set up quite well.
Yeah.
You will get moments like that, but the problem is when it gets really into the key moments, the actual ones that top managers just go, hang on a minute, I'm going to try something different here. I mean, look at PSG. When we played PSG in the Champions League and we beat them 2-0, yeah. It was a completely different PSG when we played them in the semi-final.
told them it would be. They were all going, "Oh, well, we've already beat them 2-0. This would be easy." I'm like, they're in a
No,
different moment.
exactly.
They're in a
And the
different
reason why
moment.
they were different is because you had a manager, a winner, an experienced manager that thought, I'm not going to play the same way as I did when I came here earlier on in the season.
He learned his lesson.
I'm going to play it different. I've learned my lesson. This guy just doesn't learn. He don't learn. Why do you think West Ham beat us 2 seasons running at the Emirates? West Ham beat us exactly the same way as they beat us the season before. And what makes it worse, under a different manager? You know what I mean? They didn't do a lot different. When you beat us 1-0, when you beat us this season, you didn't do a lot different to what you've done the previous season.
I said it on E20 that there was 2 performances that I looked at as performances of the season, and the Arsenal game was one of them. I thought when we played you at the Emirates, I thought we sort of done an Arsenal on Arsenal, really, if I'm being honest. Like we slowed the game down. Yeah, Kudus was on it, Bowen was on it. Kudus, Bowen, Wan-Bissaka, all 3 of them was on it. I think I've always said this with us is when we go in front, we are quite an hard team to break down because we know how to play a low block. Like we learnt that under Moyes for years, so we know like we can be hard to beat. And the thing was, Arsenal didn't have no strikers on the day, which didn't help the situation, but it still had like a decent enough squad to go through us, especially the way
at home and all.
Yeah, especially the way we was playing at the time. And
Exactly.
Potter, I think Potter just lost against fucking who was it? But Crystal Palace. I think it was Crystal Palace or Brentford. One of the 2.
You was on a bad run before you played Arsenal.
You know what I always say, James? Arsenal are the perfect team to play against. If you're in a rut and you need to beat a big team and have a big performance to change your season, Arsenal are the best team to play.
Yeah, and the thing is, that obviously the Declan Rice thing does spice it up a bit. Like, because obviously when West Ham fans go to the Emirates, they're not just giving it to Arsenal fans; they give it to Rice at all. Even though deep down they've got so much respect for that kid. Yeah, and the thing is, it's very, as I've always said on this channel, it's very hard for West Ham fans to let go because when you let go of your youngsters, good youngsters at that, we don't want to see them go out somewhere else and fucking smashing it. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the problem is that going back to sort of Arteta, is I've always said this, he's a sort of geezer that gets you to a level, keeps you steady, and then you need to go from there. Like I think the moment that you failed the season that I'm talking about, I think it's 3 years into his reign, I think it was, because you finished 8th, 5th, and then it was like second, and then it was second last season. I think maybe I've got that wrong, but I know on the 3rd season you finished 5th, and that was the season where basically you was leading all the way, and then you just fell apart right at the end, and Man City just kept winning. That's when you got to look at it, and I think Arteta is more like, I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it a bit wrong, but is it a change? Is it because it's like a change of generation and all that where he's been there for so long, and a lot of the youngsters who were 10 when he arrived are now 16, 17, 18 and thinking, fuck me, he's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, most of these, a lot of the fan base, this is the best they've ever seen.
Yeah. But that's the worrying thing.
No, that's the worrying thing.
Arsenal ain't won a league in 21 years, have they? So, you know, if
you won a league in 21 years, so a lot of this fan base, this is the best they've ever had.
You'd want to be,
and if you then, you know, like the social media aspect since this guy's been in charge, how much Arsenal now social media, the merchandise, the armory, the match day experience, the Netflix videos, like the Netflix documentaries and all of that, all of this, they're all brainwashed by it. You know, you got fans when you mention like George Graham era. I'd much rather see it. I'd much rather. I mean, fans my age are saying they would rather Arteta than watching George Graham's Arsenal. And he was our most successful manager. He's our best manager we've ever had.
And when you look at the players, Arsenal had over the years. Like, see, I remember years ago, basically when you had like Lundberg, Perez, Vieira, Petit, Henry, Will Tord, like, I mean, like a proper team.
Scary.
Yeah, like, and what it is, you had sort of like 5, 6, maybe even more than that, world-class players in there. Where you look at them, you think Vieira, Petit, France. Do you know what I'm saying? You had Henry, like French World Cup winner. There was quality players, and I don't know. Maybe I've noticed it very much on social media, especially on YouTube, that it feels like people would rather be a part of something rather than actually want to actually win something. Like if it's for argument's sake, if Arteta got to 5 finals and lost them all, people would say, well, at least he got to the final, rather than saying, why? How come he can't get over the line?
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm
it's
saying?
a journey rather than a success with a lot of fans.
I think that's the best way of summing it up. Really, yeah, I completely
It's
agree.
the journey rather than a success.
Yeah.
They're happy to go on the journey, but success they're not bothered about. As long as I said, as long as the journey's been fine, as long as we've nearly got there, as long as it's like that Real Madrid game. A lot of the Arsenal fans will tell you that's the best game they've ever seen, ever.
I watched that game. I thought the game was.
It was turned on its head by 2 brilliant free kicks. That's what it was. Other than that, there weren't really a lot in it.
And I think the first free kick galvanised for the second one.
Yeah.
Because I think if Deck has that free kick and that goes in Rowe's head, right, the second one doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? He got confidence because of the first goal, basically. He went against.
We had our match-winning moments in one game, didn't we? Really? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need one of them free kicks against PSG in the first leg. Do you know what I mean? But we just didn't have anything. Like Dee said, if we hadn't scored that first free kick, we might not have even won the game at all. We were the better team, I thought. We edged it. We played brilliantly on the night. But without that goal going in, you're right, James. The second one I don't think goes in. Probably don't even shoot. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like you said, you don't even shoot.
Then
the
it says
third
it all.
going,
It says it all when you're going against the fucking free kick coach, like, and Deck's a bit of a rebel like that. He thought, bollocks to that, I'm having a shot for me.
It's good though. There's sometimes, what's the old saying? If you don't buy the ticket, you don't win the raffle, do you? Do you know what I mean? And there you go. Something,
you don't shoot, you don't fucking score.
It's as simple as that, isn't it? Listen, we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much, James, for jumping on, man. I'm quite glad that you regularly jump on, to be fair.
Yeah, big up, James.
You're
It's
well
always nice
suited
to have
to
other-
everyone that we always have on the
team,
panel.
yeah.
So
That's
if
all right,
you
mate.
ever look
Anytime.
forward, ask for the link, obviously.
Yeah,
man.
I'll just
I'll
jump
always
on
send it
Monday
out to you.
night. It's Monday Club, isn't it, lads?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I enjoy it, man. It gets to a certain time, do you know what I mean? And a few people jump on and things like that. But as long as it don't disturb the, do you know what I mean? And it won't with you, James, because you're like us. Do you know what I mean? You're a seasoned football fan. Do you know what I mean? You know what you're talking. I mean, more like, some other people have asked me the link before, and I'm like, if you come on, it really changes the dynamic of things. Do you know what I mean? The chemistry changes. Maybe if it's a young.
I think what it is in this game, when you've done the game for so long, you know when to speak, when not to speak, when to sort of let everyone else go, and it's all about flow, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. So
it's always good having you on, man. You just seamlessly fit in. Do you know what I mean? To what the conversations we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's a great fit. So thank you very much for giving me your time.
No worries at all,
coming
mate.
up, my friend.
Ascot, mate. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, watch alongs, fucking money, tips, you name it. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, always send us a couple of texts with the tips. Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
Yeah,
I'm trying to give back to the people, but on the West Ham front, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Like, I'm going to let the dust settle for a few days, see what the land lies. But we have to see on that. But I am going to be doing a few watch-alongs this week on Ascot. So from about 2:30, first race is at 2:30 to around about 4:30. I'll do a 2-hour set. That'll be me done, mate. I mean, I'll do that for the next few days.
Nice, mate.
And Dee, what about you? And don't forget, we're going to raid Lee Gunner with Aaron Raid. Nothing fantastic. What you got coming up, Lee?
Tomorrow at 4:00, I'm doing a stream. I've got Kenny Ken, Nolski, and Jezza coming on. So tomorrow at 4:00, I think, Tuesday. And other than that, next Monday, it's me and I think is it with you, Aaron?
Yeah.
We've got something with you. But before that, I've got Matt, or after that, I've got Matty coming on as well. So I've got doing something with Matty, the Southern Gooner, which is always a pleasure. And then whatever goes around, I'll be dropping little streams here and there, and you know, trying to keep up with this crazy transfer window that Arsenal seem to dish out every year. And and I'll be jumping on here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, buzzing.
I'll probably on with Deluded as well on Wednesday as well. So yeah.
But now again, gents, thank you
Big
very
up,
much.
my friend.
Chat. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget the guys' links are pinned, so please smash a like on this video
up,
for me,
guys.
and go over
Always
there
a
and give
pleasure.
these wonderful content creators some
Big up
love.
the chat. Thank you very much.
Buzzing. Take care, everyone.